we have to ask the question, are Giant X that cut above, are they in the top 4 again, or are Vitality going to be too much for them?
Yeah, I think that's the real question. I think for Vitality, I want to try and see them coming in with the same concept that we saw yesterday against Giant X, which is heavy focus on trying to shut down Isma in the jungle.
Yep.
And we got to see it with Relech constantly looking for these invades, and also, to be fair, vice versa for Isma. But I think Linces has been like the focal point for me in the early game. I think he's been so good at dictating the pace of so many of the series he's been in. And I think it really will come down to that battle of the junglers once again today.
And I think when we're talking about these junglers dictating early pace to the game, we have to start talking about some of those junglers like the Pantheon, one taken away. Xin Zhao also on the board as well. Dagda, where else do we go here? Vise, what else am I missing here?
I mean, it's like obvious? The Karma's up there, the Azir has been up there as well, Rise is there. Okay. Like, Kai'Sa was not what I expected now, to be honest, but we'll see how that one pans out, as maybe they weren't expecting it either, as he might be going into a quick remake.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
because like the ones I'm thinking of are like Orianna, Rise. I think Karma incredibly strong. We've seen Ashe now starting to creep up because of, well, maybe Seraphine more because the Ashe Seraphine combo. So I think there is still a lot there that you could try and work with, but we'll have to wait and see as we start to look into the remake.
Yeah, it's just we're just fixing the HUD for you at home. I believe they are still in pick and ban. Now, I was questioning junglers before, and as we saw, the Pantheon was already taken off. Kai'Sa was a specific ban against Noah, as we all know. That is his most played champion alongside that Ashe. And I can tell everyone at home, Giant X got first pick. They have chosen Rise. And Vitality thinking about what they can do on the other side. Rise is quite obvious. Orianna was taken, but Rise usually goes alongside with it.
You're going to have to try and see exactly what the answer is going to be. The Rise very strong in the mid lane, especially when you've got a lot of the like Orianna and these kind of things banned away. But Jarvan, very strong pick into it because you've got that lack of mobility.
That's right.
So it means you've got an easy focus for him if you want to.
He's going to run out with Phase Rush. By the way, you can see now Caitlyn was the first locked in here for Vitality. And if we're just talking about comfort for 80 carries, Kazi on this Caitlyn, 4-0, 8.2 KDA. He has not lost so far on this champion. And with how well his laning phases have gone in, I'm not surprised. As now Giant X are looking for that range to match. And surprise, surprise, with the Virus open and available, that's just going to be the lock-in here.
Yeah, I think it's a good answer. The other option would be the Ashe. Like, that's kind of the traditional answer that we've seen a lot of the times when Caitlyn was at her peak.
Yep.
But Varus, same idea, right? You can attack from long range. You've got good answers into it when it comes to the lockdown you can provide and the poke that you offer. And it's about the push, being able to match on that mid wave. And at the moment, like, I think you've got a decent opportunity here with a lot of lockdown on Giant X to try and fish for picks off of multiple different lanes.
Do you like this, though? I mean, there's a thought, and it's locked in. Ranged engage here, so we are adding a little bit more spacing to the mix of Giant X's bottom lane.
The only problem is that you can immediately go for the Karma here on the opposite side, which then gives you a very strong pushing lane. Like, Bard is fine into some of these, but I think that's really where you don't have that same push power as the Karma, the ability to like poke and hit. This would be a lot more spicy though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You
that
know
is
what?
Sick.
Mad respect, because I feel like in the past we'd be like, oh, well, this is going to be like a Hylissang pick. Here comes Fleshy with his first Elise of the split. But Vitality are crazy. So I'm not sure we, you know, half expected this not to be picked.
I think it's just cool to see that they're willing to like fight fire with fire, right? Because I think Noah and Jun traditionally have been very strong in the 2v2, and Karzi and Fleshy have definitely been getting a hell of a lot better in that regard. Like, you think back to how potent their Caitlyn and Barret has been, which is maybe why you see Jun trying to take that away. But with the Elise, you now set up for super strong tower dives with this Jarvan and Elise, and you've got a ton of push and poke. It's going to be a bloodbath on the bottom lane. One game played in his entire career. We're talking 4 years of Fleshy with ERLs included. It was a loss. He went 0-6, Dagda. So let's see if Fleshy can improve his ratio here in this game. As he is banned on the other side, we are just tangling through those bans as Nocturne is going to join in. There's the Xin Zhao for early game junglers. Considering that Isma, we talk about, has such great impact in the first 14 minutes, well, Xin Zhao is a must takeaway here, with Isma's pool getting shrunk. It's also things that can fight against Jarvan in the early stages, right? Xin Zhao very potent when it comes to that skirmishing 1v1 potential. So trying to take that away is always going to be great. And I think that's kind of where the focus looks like for Vitality, because off the top of my head, like with most meta junglers, I think Jarvan starts to win out now. I could be mistaken though. Maybe they lock in something that makes go, hang on, no. But it does mean that then you've got a lot of focus on, okay, we can win out of the 1v1, we can kind of bully away Isma, but also gives you opportunities to try and look for a split map here now with the Jarvan, which I wouldn't be surprised to see Linces try and go for, and just hope that in that regard, they can have hyper-focus on this bottom lane and isolate it so no one have a bad time.
Jesam ih poprilično pojačao, tako da trebalo bi da je dobro.
Yeah, it definitely works just because of the range advantage and being able to trade very aggressive against that Rise. It does now, though, for Giant if you're going for something like Renegade, make you kind of reconsider it, because you then are kind of playing into that range and the opportunities for that ultimate to really cause issues. Still going to go for it, though, with the now already found away. Curious what Naknako wants to try and take, because the Renekton has kind of been his go-to in that regard.
We are talking about Naknako. Anything's possible. Canon is still up. Just a side note. But we'll see if they think they have too much AP already. Is for Isma, this is his most played jungler. But this also in the ERLs when he had to cover for KC Blue.
Yeah.
In EMEA Masters not so long ago, this was an Isma specialty. And he carried the hell out of the one game that they did find success in.
Even back when he was on Mad
Iskreno giga fan draft. Najiskrenije i jako fan draft ovdje, tako da
back then as well in 23, so we'll have to see how this is going to work out, because you're already like not really having that much control over the bottom side because of the potency level kind of 1 and 2, but what do you...
I've seen the future. I've seen the future. I just saw this little flash on the spectator client and I was like, no way did he just insta-lock Quinn.
Čekaj, moram nova slika.
Lanes, huh?
Yeah, because I was about to say Nidalee wants pushing lanes. Top doesn't have us. Mid can get pushed, but in those early levels, and that kind of is what you're hoping for. And I'm pretty sure Caitlyn and Elise can control the early stages because you output more damage thanks to the percentage max health and Elise having access to 2 spells level 1. But this means that it's going to be difficult for Isma to try and look for invades, because that's basically what a lot of this setup is. You've got point and click in both solo lanes, so look for invades, look for that setup for the spears off the CC that those solo laners can provide, and hope you can take over this game from the early stages.
Dagdo, I'm going to go and scroll through and see how much Quinn Naknako has played in his career.
Ok, iskreno, ne. Šako min, ovo će biti... Samo mi Šako fali u game. Ovo je u stvari giga fan draft. Ovo je jako zabavan draft.
You are talking about a lane that is going to be under serious pressure because that duo is well renowned. Nidalee, Renekton, they go together like Zyre and Rakan almost.
I mean, it's something that we saw a lot in the LPL. Goes great in lane. Kind of starting to struggle in the later portion, so we'll have to see how that's going to work out as we start to get ourselves into game 1. But what a spicy draft to kick us off.
I can't believe it. Like, it's only game 1, and usually game 1 is the stock standard safe drafts that we get in the LEC, but it's Vitality versus GX.
Ok, mislim da je story otišao live, Discord je live, tako da gledamo game.
And like, for Giant X, they're a team that got tested yesterday. For the first time, they had to verse a team that was above that bottom 4, and they made mistakes versus Na'Vi. And if we look at the rest of their schedule, as Cocoon's not going to land from Fleshy onto Noah, we know that for Giant X, it gets harder and harder, and this is one of the hardest matchups with how well Vitality's doing right now.
Yeah, it does again.
Me zanima kako će igrati Naknako također na Quinn. Quinn s Cleansom na topu. Nidalee, Jarvan u džungli, Elise support.
Both stepping up massively. Like Linces, we've been talking about like almost every time Vitality take the stage as for me one of the most.
Ma da ruku na srce ljudi, Isma je Nidalee, bio je, ću kažem OTP, ali bio je Nidalee main, to mu je jedan od najboljih heroja, tako da nije čudno što Isma igra Nida, čudno što si Nida igra, ali kao on je ok Nidalee igrač, mislim to smo vidjeli i na EMEA Masteru ranije, od njega specifično.
Is that champion to a T. So it feels like both these teams are kind of going, okay, Linces, you have an early game ganker that wants to try and interact with the lanes. And on the upside for GX, they're saying, no, we want to look for invades. And it's exact styles that we're looking at for both these guys.
And in such volatile lanes as well, right? Isma has the chance to shut some of these down. We know for Vitality, bot is super important with how Caitlyn and Elise want to play. And we'll get to that in a second. Mid feels like the calmest lane right now, even though Humanoid has a lead. but top is extra volatile because a Renegade in an isolated matchup is going to lose out. Every time he wants to slice and dice in, that Volt negates it, but the problem is if you misstep once, Renegade can punish, so I am worried, but Nako seems to be okay for now as he looks for his first place and plate nice and early.
Yeah, it's also just
Nako samo treba, to jest Lot samo treba bude strpljiv da mu se kreša u bazu, to je manje više to.
Denies the ruthless predator, which then makes it very difficult for you to even try and cover. So for Lot, it's how do I try and lose as gracefully as possible and try and set up for Isma. But even you can see like Nako knows how the combo works. He's opted for the cleanse to try and make things a little bit simpler for himself in this top side of the map. And it's cloth pots for Lot as well to try and help on the health bar.
Well, action starts on the bottom side. Giant X are trying to fight.
Isma bi trebao da je mnogo jači od Linka s ovom delu partije.
Linsus is here as well, but they're both matching in the clears. Fleshy looking for his own little maker as magical journey out from Jun, but the scuttle was just taken nice and quick. Well done from Giant X. They're in, they're out, they got the objective.
Still, now we'll focus on towards the top side. Isma trying to use that pounce to get into the top half of the map. Linus is going to be spotted crossing through mid, but without the push on top, Isma looking for the spear.
Javelin toss did connect as well, and with the red buff slow, there's nice bit of action between junglers. Cosmic
Humanoid nema mane za produženi fight.
Humanoid at half HP, but Jackie's as well, as the scuttle for Linsus will just be taken.
Yeah, you do have two of the most dangerous level 3 junglers on Vitality in Elise and Jarvan, so I think once Fleshy started to roam up, they're like, okay, maybe we don't try and go for this anymore. And as you're saying, with push on top, very easy for Nako to come down. So
bar bi trebao da roamuje malo bolje od Flashija.
Set up those junglers early, but this is to be expected with how this draft has gone.
Remember, he's also taken Ignite, Fleshy, on the Elise, so the combat summoner's out of this world. He's trying to roam again, but there's a good ward on that Phaelite that is going to spot Fleshy moving into River, so they know exactly where he is. Jun now matching, just in case something happens.
Yeah, starting to roam up. Fleshy is stealing a little bit of XP from the mid lane, though, so it's not all lost. If he sticks around for a little while, Jun gonna face check this though. Thinks that Fleshy's recess.
Maybe he thinks he has. There's a cocoon combo with electrocute. There's a bit of damage, but not too
Nema
much.
puno on tu.
Stays in lane and Jun magical journeys out. Not much else happens. Good noxious blast and the twin fang. Jackie's gets hit pretty hard there, and obviously Humanoid feels comfortable in the lane.
Yeah, especially once that Conqueror proxy becomes absolutely devastating. Isma now sitting in behind her as well. Flash forward, but good flash from Humanoid in response. Denies the lockup.
That was unexpected, though. He flashes for the spell flux rather than for just a slow. He wanted to get that root down and enable the spear as Jun is still here. Both supports setting up a 10. Remember, Fleshy has flash.
Dobar.
What a gank!
Dobar, clean.
That was a very long way.
Iskreno respekt za Vitality, baš su došli lepo da se biju. Sviđa mi se. Ja uvijek više volim. Mislim, ja sam Caitlyn enjoyer. Queen bi trebala da outscaluje Renegtona, Cassio Rise oba scaluju, Caitlyn outscaluje Varusa. Opet Nida Jarvan. U kompetitivu verovatno bi Jarvan trebao i dalje više da radi i eventualno Elise će biti outscalovan, ali ja bi uvek rađe da budem ekipa koja ima Caitlyn nego Vitality Varusa. Lično.
Remember as well, it's only going to get a faster game as well. Vitality played for the lanes in this draft, and Dagda, we are getting towards the level 6. Specifically, Nako, who, with more levels on the ulti, will get more movement speed and be able to roam across the map, but Fleshy as well, who's already starting to move towards the mid lane, already starting to move to River constantly.
Lepo farmo je Karzi jako.
First Dragon remains standing, at least for the time being, as Linsus and Isma are fighting it out, but Vitality are still looking for picks. Giant X trying to match.
Yeah, at the moment, I think it's just for the Scuttle spawn, which is just going to be in a sec, but
Caitlyn je manje prio od Varusa sad. Ja mislim da ovo dropa Vitality, da. Varus je 6 i tu je Caitlyn je upravo dobila 6. Tako da možda i hoće sad da se biju. Mada ne znam je brsta ovde.
Fleshy almost caught out. Chains of corruption and a bit of range from Noah. Humanoid close to dying. With the hail of arrows, he has to get out of there. Blinking health bars from Vitality.
Flank drag out, to je fine. Slabiji su oni tu svakako.
But using their range well, Giant X not ending the play. There's a realm warp onto Humanoid, petrifying gaze, cleansed by 1, and that's enough. Noah will just stand, auto, get the kill. Now Linsus for the retrade.
Dobro, Karzi. Flash basic, nice. I sad imaš little tempo. I to je to. Nice, insane. Vitality dobija prvi game.
Steps up when they need him, makes the roam to mid, works with Linsus and Fleshy. 3 kills now to this AD carry. And what looked like a good play from Giant X gets turned around.
And again, no, it looked like he was getting something big back, but as we look at the replay, Dagger had started in the river.
Može da rašuje. Verovatno, vidi, u kompetitivu Storm Razor najviše vole. U kompetitivu najviše vole Storm Razor.
But Humanoid gets a huge ultimate onto everyone. Noah's the only one that gets to play the game, and Linces as his EQ comes up, sets up perfectly then for Carzy.
I ovo mi je Caitlyn koja dobije little tempo.
And Fleshy knows that he can step up here, even if it gets a little dicey, has the repel, and sets up for a triple kill for Carzy.
I'm gonna push this shit well played.
Carzy je svestan koliko ima resursa, ali mora da ostane ladan.
Noah, it's good damage. Jun is here to back him up though, so no gank as Carzy feeling confident in the 1v2 for now. Fleshy is on the way, but note that Karzy's back got him Berserker Greaves and a dagger. So he already had the BF sword from the previous play, but Carzy right now up 600 gold in the matchup, 15 CS.
But it's the CS. Oh, hang on, Jackie's
might be in trouble, waiting for a Cataclysm. Linces was just out of range and didn't have the flash.
It's the lack of a CS lead on towards Isma that's really the telling point of where this game has gone, though. Because as in Italy, you want to be snowballing again, invading, using the fact you have a much quicker clear to make the game work in your favor. But at the moment, Linces has been able to match a lot of the plays and use the fact that he has that more aggressive support in AD carry to work out. And now my focus is on, okay, well, how does Linces use the Cataclysm? Because he wanted to try and use it in mid, couldn't quite make it work. But I'm looking at like both Noah and Jun in that bottom lane that don't have any summoner spells. Like if Fleshy can set up with a cocoon there,
da, Storm Razor prvi.
It does feel like there's a lot of
Ne znam, jako mi se dopada šta radi Vitality u ovom gameu. Iskreno baš mi se sviđa.
9 minutes into the game, the comp is doing what it's supposed to. We haven't even talked about top. And while all the action is down here, it does mean that it continues being isolated as let's focus our eyes on Flag and Drag a little bit early here from Linces. He gets damage down, he gets stunned up, but not enough damage on his head. Magical journey out and in front of this dragon that is yet to be taken. Vitality are now set up.
Yeah, it's done pretty clutch there from Jun, because if the Cataclysm had gone down, I think that would have been him gone, but still, Vitality get them to push Giant X out of river, and now we'll move over with the dragon take. Isma going to trade it for the Void Grubs, which maybe gives an opportunity for Isma to try and play up towards loss in just a moment as well, but it will be tough.
Good step forward from Jackie's. Every time there's a Noxious Blast, he steps into the Cassiopeia.
Iskreno imati Nidalija pasti behind ovako rano je također dosta veliki problem. Mislim, Nidali early game jungler, ako pikate Nido, a niste ahead early, Nidali postaje baš slabo relevantno. Slično kao je Lee support. Ali to je također, opa, popit će spear. Mrtave. I da je, da.
Humanoids in the ground and Isma's finally on the board.
And there's the setup that Isma was looking for. Jackie's manning.
Šta kažeš, Caitlyn da Juntal?
Sets up for the kill. Nicely done.
Kažem, Storm Razor je ono što obično Caitlyn igrači rade u lecu.
Getting that blind down is quite nice. Nako is just pushing a lot backwards.
Storm Razor ti daje bezbednost, daje ti mobility, što je ono što je njima najbitnije. Jer igraju ljude koji u stvari znaju da ih fokusiraju. Također ti Storm Razor omogućuje da sidestepuješ Bardov ulti, recimo, malo efikasnije. Lepo od Carzija, jako lepo od Carzija. Oni mogu se biju ovdje, ovo je pobjeda za Vitality. Ok, možda nije. Nije znao da dolazi Nida. Lepo od botlane Vitalitya.
Isma was there in time.
Also, because Carzy ended up using a headshot onto Noah, didn't use it onto Jun when he got trapped up, meant that he was just able to get by with enough HP. Now opting in towards the TP, he's going to teleport back to this bottom lane.
Kad klenzujete trap, headshot ostane na vama, tako da i dalje su dobili batini, iako je ovaj stao na trapa i bacio cleanse.
That's the only question. Linces hovers. Jun here does have his flash, but as he base checks, Linces in, Cataclysm down onto Jackie's, but he holds firm. A nice Q binding from Jun as Jackie's still not dead yet. Humanoid can't get the damage down. And I have to say, Jackie's just walked around the Cataclysm circle to keep himself alive.
Yeah, manages to stay alive. Happy enough there. Will be able to defend this wave as well, get a reset off afterwards, and should be fine. Didn't have to burn anything of too much value. So overall, again, Giant X kind of skipping away from this one, but it is still a lead for Vitality.
Onako naporan. Pogledajte mu build. Safety spuci pračka, ali udarite 75 puta, bukvalno.
The biggest question is, what can Nako do? Well, he can just walk it out, I guess. Blind comes in. Lot tries to threaten,
But
is missing.
look at the bottom side of the map. There's a potential as Noah gets back here, but Linces gets clipped.
Wee.
Great heads-up play by Noah, using that arcane commas to make sure that he knew if that arrow had hit anyone.
There's good damage as well, enough to send Linces away. Able to walk up to the turret as Giant
Da,
bot lane.
uzeo je Storm Laser, kao što sam rekao.
Right there and then, and don't get me wrong, still a strong lead, but
Jackie's is behind them though.
Lepo igra Karzi, sviđa mi se, baš mi se sviđa kako igra Karzi. Mnogo lepo igra Karzi, iskreno. Ovaj game raspoložen je.
He has to go back. So they're looking for that realm warp in.
To volim da im.
And the chains of corruption going wide means that Jackie's has to walk back towards mid lane. Still, realm warp going to be used.
Okay, well, towards mid lane again. Bully humanoid. Petrifying gaze though, it's beautiful. Isman taking turret shots as well as the twin fangs get unleashed. Another noxious blast, and the chase begins. Jackie's going to ride away with phase rush, and humanoid uses his ulti well after the 3-man gank.
Nicely done by Humanoid to keep himself safe. Again, though, like there's so much movement in this early stage. It's like it's 4-3, a 2k gold lead for Vitality, but this has been so close, and Karzi now wants to use those free kills.
Send it out. 90 caliber net, ace in the hole. Noah close to dying, but Fleshy just wasn't there to finish or deliver rather the finishing blow.
Still though, it means that Noah has to reset because there's so much potential of a dive. Karzi can now push in this wave, get another plate for himself, make that tower very close to going down. There's now 2 turret plates with Humanoid on this that is going to take another one, and on top side, that's been slowly chipped away by Nako. So even though we're having all this bedlam in the early stages, it's still Vitality winning out through the lanes and getting these nice gold lead for themselves.
It needs to continue though, right? Like you want to see this pace keep on.
Jako je, mislim, ne znam. Meni je verovatno jedan od najgorih osjećaja u LoLu ikada da da upalim kameru. Ne da upalim kameru, to mi nije najgore osjećaj u LoLu ikada, nego da igram top lane u range top lanera. Samo je toliko gadno, vrati. Kad moram da igram u recimo Vayne na topu. Bukvalno tuga golema, ali dobro se drži lot, mislim, iskreno. Šta gubi 10 kripova, to je bukvalno ništa.
Yeah, I think it does say a lot though about how Nako wants to try and play the game. Because there's 2 different ways you can do it.
Gledam šanse se vrati Giantsi. U ovaj game, da. Od 1900 golda nije nemoguće. Nako igra lošije malo i Lot igra jako dobro ovaj matchup. Nije ni meni jasno kako nije više behind. Najiskrenije.
Which I think is fine with the composition that they have. Like they are much more about like playing for picks with some good scaling.
Legitimno ne znam na koju foru nije ustao i otišao s bine.
And just more on that build as well, what we've seen in solo queue. Things like Collector, LDR, Edge of Night has been there too, so we'll see what the next item ends up being, but at the very least, we're focusing on Dragon here with Karzi just walking into the side river, Chains of Corruption, CC him down. He does get poked and a javelin toss, but Fleshy may have saved the play. His cocoon holds them there as Humanoid versus
Ajoj.
but Petrifying Gaze was spaced. Wasn't even a ward there. He just had Spidey senses.
Giant X are double checking every bush.
Gledam to Jackie za... I ovo sad dropaju zašto nemaju Cassie ulti, uzim je Heralda kao cross map odgovor i to je to. Lepo igre.
Cocoon bursts down, half HP, flashes away. Tempered Fate onto Humanoid will miss, but the Dragon has gone down. Isma still wants to play the players. Jackie's just running in with Phase Rush. Fleshy's already out of the way as Humanoid stands his ground. Yet again, Cocoon won't connect from the brush behind as Fleshy tried to use that angle, but everyone disembarks once more. But Dragon stacking has been denied thanks to GX.
It was a little greedy from Vitality to try and keep this play going, to be honest, but they're going to keep it going again.
Wait for the Cocoon, the flash into a minion! Fleshy misses, goes into the repel to escape with Protobell,
pa rip, i samo se flasha i treba da mu se flasha. A to kažem, 2000 golda nije unreachable. Pogotovo što Rai skela jako dobro. A šta ćemo s midom? Znaš da je zbog pota preživao? Nismo vidjeli to lepo, ali... On je mrtav svakako. Mislim da je Karzi samo treba ostane na midu, uzme kulu. Tier 2 je bio fine.
I don't know what's happening anymore. This game has gone mental. There's so much happening at all points in time. The focus on the bottom side, though, for Giant X was a win. They get Fleshy, they get Humanoid, they get a ton of damage onto the tower. Mid lane, though, Vitality were able to get the mid lane turret with the Rift Herald. Giant X, though, come out a win with the gold because they had more on the kills, they had more on the plates, and that Rift Herald had only taken 2 turret plates on that mid lane. So it is crazy, but it still ends up working. And this is so greedy. Fleshy misses the cocoon. The Spiderlings end up blocking some of the damage that comes through from Jackie afterwards, but he's able to flash forward to get the
Mislim,
kill.
Flash igra Elise, Elise će uvek praviti agro pleve, tako da ovo je fajn skroz. I slažem se za Kal. U svakom free matchupu misli se uzima Kal. Mislim, ja ga igram na mage'evima na midu, iskreno. Ja ga igram na mage'evima na midu, legit.
Naknako goes into ult because you get that AoE damage when you go in, but isn't certain that he can really turn around the play.
Oh my god, we're fighting again. Hang on, Naknako, this is the punishment I'm talking about. Volt's going to get him away. He gets a blind as well, but now that he doesn't have Volt...
Čeka Mark da basicuje za Mousepad, ne može ga stigne lot.
Nice movement speed, and of course with Swifties.
Static Shiv, Storm Razor. Čudno.
Question is about damage though. Lot is going to get the solo turret to himself and push himself very much back in this game. Vitality can't make the dive possible, and now they're caught out by Isma.
I don't even think, to be honest, Lot has been entirely pushed out of this game. Like, he's been doing a great job of keeping himself in check, managing a lot of the gold deficits that he's gone in the CS deficit.
Hang on. Again, Noxious Blast onto Jackie's, but needs a little bit more time, does Humanoid.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't think this Quinn is far enough ahead to really be the main threat that you want her to be. The fact that even Lot was able to take that turret because of an over pushing mistake.
Dobar protobelt. Sad je mrtav. Sad treba da uradi damage koliko može. Flash umire sigurno, da. Dobar flash od Linka se zakillao, sad će on da umre. I onda kad imaš Queen Queen će samo biti na drugoj kraju mape. Ako Kate uzme tier 2 na midu i Queen uzme bot, onda je možda i fine trade. Queen isto ide Storm Razor. Mislim, Karzi je jak. Pa ne znam, obično igraju Vitality build, ali... Vitality za minu Drake, ne znam što oni rade s Queen sad ovdje. Da li se team fight ili Queen ide top? Ja mislim da Lot može da ubije obojicu ovdje. Mada je sad dešavo, a nema stride, a ima kill, da. Ne znam što rade njih dvojica u Renegadea. On je mrtav. Ne može ga ubije. I Linkas ne može da ubije Lota. Neće stići do njega, da. Opet šta radi Vitality? Šta radi crni Vitality, ljudi moji?
Falls, they will back away, but again, this slight gold lead that Vitality has been slowly been eaten at. GIANX making plays, looking for one more.
It's a repel on the tempered fate now. Jun is pretty deep. He took the magical journey in, Linces with the knockup as well. TP2, and a Volt keeps him in place, but Jun still not dead, escaping with his life. He's running up river and he's out. Humanoid just teleported in after dying. But GIANX's support will live, and it keeps getting worse, I swear, for Vitality.
The fact that Jun has managed to sneak away with barely any HP a couple of times is devastating. But again, I mean, 1,000 assists for Isma.
What a game to get it in.
I mean, he's been everywhere trying to help out. 1-0-5. And very impressive, but Dragon is now up. Next focus for GIANX. Loss has already pushed in this bottom side, which means he can join in River, making it very difficult right now for Vitality to try and contest. Linces is the only one that can really face check in this position, but look at GIANX. They've already halfway through Dragon. They still have Jackie's pushing in top side. He doesn't have a TP, which is giving Vitality the confidence they need to try and push.
Nakon uleti u stan od 100 do 0 umire.
Vitality have taken over this Dragon. GIANX paying respect.
Mada njima je Ryze na topu, oni u dropaju, nema TP.
Again in the hands of Vitality is another step up as they look for a little bit more, trying to pick off GIANX.
But Jackie's is focus on the game plan. Like, try and get as much gold into this guy so we can get towards Actualizer. And GIANX, in a straight-up team fight, I still think are stronger. Like, I think you've got to try and play around.
Ne, trebamo više, trebamo mnogo više.
When she is like 3 and a bit items where she is very strong, but I think with the way that this game is gone, Jackie's and Actualizer should give you enough oomph as GIANX to try and fight for like a 3rd, 4th Dragon, because you really don't want to give across a Cloud Soul to a champion like Quinn.
True. It is just outrageous, isn't it? Well, 4 minutes 20 to find out if Vitality can get towards the soul point. 4 minutes 20 to find out if Vitality can again stay in this game and bring that pace back, because as we're talking about, Jackie's is really moving towards that item, and with the gold lead over Humanoid, things are looking a lot better than they did in the early game.
To be fair though, I think Carzy is in a very good spot.
He is in a good spot.
I think he still kind of needs to get this third item completed, but once he does...
Interesantno da Varus igra Cleanse, a da Carzy ne igra Cleanse u Varusa. To je jako čudno.
But I just... Rise when he hits that spike is terrifying.
He is. I mean, the one-shot capabilities are there, isn't it? And Daggers, I'm about to sneeze again.
I'll take over. Yeah. Still, I like the way Giant X are playing this, right?
Yep.
While this craziness is happening, Jackies shouldn't get caught out.
Yep.
It's Giant X who are actually playing the map better. So when we talked about that Dragon setup, Lot had already pushed in bottom lane. He'd already set up where Giant X had control over River. It was Vitality had to overload with numbers to get that control back. And again, they'd already sent Jackies to the top side to make sure Jackies could get a tower. So a second Dragon to Vitality, not the end of the world, but it gave a lot of gold and a lot of map control to Giant X and tempo as well.
Iskreno, streamerko nisam siguran. Ja za Jimmy imam stainless steel. Ili nešto, čelično. Da, je stainless steel.
Pushing out these lanes, and Vitality are the ones that are trying to make a quick pick to see if they can match somewhere before Giant X get these push in.
500 golda između dve ekipe. Da. Ništa spec.
Helps with that wave clear with the static shift as well. Thinking about going bot now.
But it's also you have two slowing items, both Storm Razors on Carzy and Nako. Means if you get an auto attack, it sets up much easier for Fleshy and Linces to look for these engages. But here we go.
Blinding Assault is good. The damage is ramped up a bit. Dominus going to be used by Lot, so that's an ulti down. Whereas Nako always has the versatility of that behind enemy lines.
Yeah, the ult going down is definitely a loss there for Giant X. I think if Lot had actually just managed to escape, you'd kind of done your job, right? So you'd got the push in on bot, you're going to get a reset, you've allowed time for Jackies to catch that wave in top, and you're still protecting mid lane. So for Vitality, getting that ultimate is kind of a minor win that hopefully they can try and use to maybe make a pick. But with 2 minutes until Dragon's up, no real way to rush Baron at the moment. I don't think he can really punish Lot in the position that he's in.
And it's only going to get worse, because if you don't know, Quinn's ulti, as she gets to level 16, costs 0 mana. So at first, it's a cost every time you want to use it, transform, go to side lanes. Now it is 0. So there is no punishment for using it whatsoever, as Nako has just crested upon level 16. There's a play towards mid. Tempered Fate is going to catch down Carzy, the strongest member. Flashes the Chain of Corruption, but Jackies is there to match. Under turret, he cares not, but he's too deep. They couldn't finish off Carzy's Realm Walk. Needs to get them out to escape, but it's interrupted. And a noxious blast and a gaze from Humanoid stops the play from
Oni su ladno dobili fight.
Too deep, and the snake has sunk in its fangs.
Overcommit rip.
The moment Giant X thought they'd done the correct play, push insides, collapse on mid, try and get Carzy, but they couldn't quite land the CC and Vitality put
Mislim da je Black Cleaver nekako regular build, jer Jarvan je ovako topi armor sa Q-om i onda svako pojačava koliko Caitlyn može biti jaka u bilo kom delu partije. Tako da mislim da je Cleaver fine, nemaš bolje item. Sterak, ali svako ćeš biti jednako tanky, a ovako imaš više utility-a. A ako ti isfokusiraju, ti si lagan. Mislim, Carzy je samo previše preživeo ovdje, nema šta. Hard overcommit na Carzy-a, nisu ga ubili i to je to, nema šta.
Find the fight they needed to blow the game open in their favor.
And Humanoid does it all at the end. The 0-4 Cassiopeia. What a team effort from Vitality, and Giant X are just sent packing 4K in a gold disadvantage as Dragon spawns.
And we're keeping up the theme for the last 2 weeks. Double kill for the support in that one as Fleshy manages to get Dragon available. Giant X in a decent spot.
Fajn je Cleaver. Daje ti mnogo više pressure-a. Cleaver sa Conquerorom i onda ne smije ti ignorišu. To je poenta Jarvana, znaš. Jer ti ako uzmeš Sander Sterak, oni te puste, ti ne radiš ništa. U competitivu, ne u solo queue.
magical journey out. Excuse me, it's a realm warp from Jackies, but it felt magic because Giant X were dead as anything if they stayed in that petrifying gaze.
There was no miasma, so they will give up loss for a dragon take, but Vitality still fishing. Jun!
The turret, it's a greedy place to back. Jun is dead in one shot. A flag and drag out from Linces, and another pick over to Vitality.
And Nako speeding towards that top side, wants to try and get the turret for himself before Giant X can get in a position to defend. Jackies is matching though, roaming up towards that top side, but you're still spread thin as Giant X on the numbers. 20 seconds on both top and support means that you can push in and get at least one of these towers for Vitality.
Nako puts pressure down. Jackie's there to match. It will be humanoid, as you said. One of them has to go, and it will be this bot tier 2 turret. 6,000 is the lead. And it's incredible, Dagda. I mean, it's one mistake. It's one fight gone bad for Giant X. And it's that overdive in mid. We always talk about their mid games. Vitality come crushing down hard. And they move an extra 6,000 gold in their pocket.
But it is heartbreaking for them because I think that was the correct play. It was just that little bit of an overextension that cost them. Here though, Vitality play this so well.
They do.
Like they are so patient on this. Wait for stuns, use those double slows we talked about with the Storm Razors to constantly keep in range.
Kule pravi ult. Mislim, timing je bio giga clean.
That petrifying gaze able to connect. It could have been a very different story. But Giant X, they lose one, they lose the tower, they get a dragon. Still, what was kind of a 500 to 1,000 gold lead has now ballooned to a 6k gold lead for Vitality, and so much of that is on Carzy. This Caitlyn that we were talking about is massive with 4 items now completed, and if Carzy gets the free hit, it is a dangerous time for Giant X.
In the LEC I'm reading, Carzy has 4 games. I already said 100% win rate. Samdi, Upset, and Han, some of the only ones who have played it so far. And so out of 7 games, it has a 71% win rate because Carzy is inflating the numbers. And Samdi, of course, for the one game. All the way up.
Likas je prejak sad. Što ostaje u fajtu, što duže u fajtu, to je jači, a da ga šotaš ima Guardian. Carzy mora se pazi. Thor. Život ade carry-a. Da.
Back into behind enemy lines. Nako favors the play with a 1-for-2 trade.
Noah had to burn his flash to try and save that. Keeps.
What is happening?
I mean, I'd be upset after that one as well.
I had to look on stage. It's like, is that live?
I think that's the reference.
That's a recreation of this is fun.
Yeah.
Whatever the new emote is.
Oh no, it's the lad who.
Jako fan draft ako ništa, iskreno. Jako fan draft. Da, iskreno jeste, slažem se da je čudo što nije na Hexoptic otišao. I čudi me da ide QSS ovako kasno. Ima 4 crit itema i tek onda ide na QSS. Mislim, treba mu cleanse, u ovom matchupu mu treba cleanse jer pogodit će ga Varus kad tad, ne može da računa da će cijel game dodžovati Varusove ulte. A problem je što njega hard CC baš ubija.
Only the fact that Lot had flash and Noah flashed in to help him was really what turns it around. But as Vitality are able to play into this space in the middle, you keep your eyes on that top side. You're still getting that push from Humanoid, which took that tier 2. So now again, this opportunity for Giant X to try and play it on the map, to try and find picks, to try and find the CC chain that they're looking for is starting to fall away. A minute until Dragon. Vitality don't even have to try and go for it. They can just continue to put pressure with Nako in this top lane and see if they can crack the base.
Got an LDR now as well. We've got a BF sword sitting in the inventory, and Nako, that level 18 Quinn, even though it wasn't a gigantic lead early, he is running the map, as you can see, very fast. And Isma, heightened senses, are going to know where he is in a second, and Nako just hovers in a brush, knowing that Giant X will eventually have to face check.
I think Giant X had the right idea, though. No bush ever in this game at any point in time is safe ever. No sir-ree Bob. So staying away from that has kind of been their best bet, but unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out for them. Vitality are continuing to keep control, continuing to fish for picks, and all you really have to do is let this double AD carry comp do the work for you.
Čekaš Drake-a, čekaš Barona i dalje, ne znam. Interesantno mi je jako Quinn i mnogo mi je drago što konačno gledamo nešto kršteno na topu, jer gledam Xanteu Rambla svaki game. Videli smo i TF-a, videli smo i Niviju, vidimo i evo i Quinn. i pobeđuje, tako da to mi je jako drago. Malo meta da se, vrate, promeša, da gledamo u stvari dobar. Dodge mid ništa, ne veze, sve cool. Ajmo da vidimo kako Baron umire. Baron je umro. Ulti za bench i šta god, iskreno.
Lot coming to defend, but mid is now exposed and open, so for the cost of the Dragon, 2 inhibitor turrets taken down, and with it, inhibitors might just be free.
It's an easy pickup for Vitality, and it's a dangerous position now for Giant X. The fact that you now have 2 of your towers down, Vitality can start to play off of like a top lane push with Naknako, try and force a play on this bottom side. Naknako for the moment just keeping presence on this mid wave, because he can then threaten a flank onto the tower.
Gets a cocoon, what a pick, sets it up.
Clean, u groundu, trap, to ne igra. Jako, jako lepo. I sad ništa, čukaj na botu, uzmi inhib, rotiraj se top, uzmi top ili samo probaj završi game kroz bot. Nemaju Ryza. Iskreno se radujem draftu Vitality o sljedeći game, neću vas lagati. Ovo je jako, jako lepo. Dobar linkas. Dobar linkas. I Karzi samo čisti. Triple za njega. Double za njega. Clean, dobro, VP za Vitality, iskreno, nema šta. Jako čist prvi game, odigrano sve kako treba. Ekipa Vitality-a uzima pobedu. Imaćemo, mislim, nekih 10 minuta pauzice. Tako da ajmo čujemo intervju, tu smo nakon pauze da imamo šta se događa u sljedećem gameu i šta će Vitality draftu, to me najviše interesuje.
Brother, let me try. Wait, brother. Let us break this instead, brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother? Perfection.
A new champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
Wait, is he switching lanes?
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save burned.
play. There's a realm off onto humanoid petrifying gate, cleansed by one, and that's enough. Noah will just stand, auto, get the kill. Now Linton for the retrade, gets a 1-for-1. Kazi onto two, flashes autos, double kill.
Really nice. ASUS, well played, well played. Okay, bad kill finally. Bro, we are Queen Elise come. First game.
There were a lot of facts at the beginning of the day, Veri, but the only one that matters so far is that Vitality came ready and they're strong in their position of top team so far, especially against GX. And guys, I want to dive straight into it, talking about those drafts, because what the hell was this? Gilotto said the drafts were the issue yesterday against Navi. Do we see any improvements on that from GX today?
The thing is, I really liked both teams' drafts, and I think, for me, this was probably the coolest drafts I've seen in LEC at least. So you have Giant X's comp. I think it makes a lot of sense altogether. Nidalee, what does she want? She wants CC. She has that from Renegade, check. She has that from Bard, check. She has that from Virus, check. She has that from Ryze, right? She's getting everything she needs. But what does she also want? She wants winning lanes. Well, Renegade against Quinn? That's losing. Quinn is going to push you in the whole time. Ryze up against Cassio? Also losing. You're going to get pushed in the whole time. Virus Bard up against Caitlyn and Elise? Come on. You know Caitlyn and Elise are going to push them in. So that's where I think the genius of Vitality's team comp was on display. The fact that they understood that the way Giant X wins is through winning lanes, through snowballing with Isma's Nidalee, and by denying that, by having winning lanes themselves, and also generating, I think, a pretty cohesive team comp, because you have a little bit of engage from the Elise, you have the pseudo-tankiness of the Cassiopeia, and then like a pseudo-tankiness of Jarvan, while the Jarvan is also playing into the immobile carries of the Ryze and the Varus. I mean, overall, I just absolutely love this Vitality draft.
But I think the important thing about this draft is that you can't slow down. No. There is no room for hesitation. You have to be willing to fight, and you have to be willing to be aggressive. And I think we saw that in a lot of the early skirmishes. But, hand this over to me, because I really wanted to break down one of the early fights that we actually saw from this team that I think really set the tone. If I can, there we are, nicely done. Right, now, if we can bring that up on stream, this contest is very much around the early objectives. So as I start rolling this out, you'll notice that the main objective is, well, Kazi in the middle lane. Now, for some reason it has paused, but we will pause it for a second, because you'll notice that in this situation, right, Kazi is in a lot of danger. He's getting dangerously low, and I think that the way in which they successfully put him in that position was very cleanly done. I'm going the wrong way, I want to go back in time. Right. There we are. Lovely. So they've caught out Kazi in a very awkward spot. This is the composition idea that you were talking about earlier, Jack. This idea that they have actually very easy ways to set up for the Nidalee to punish a target player that's out of position. So as we roll this out, we can see that a ton of damage gets done onto Kazi, a heavy commitment from Jackie's, but his movement was absolutely ridiculous in this. Just keep your eyes on the Ryze here as he uses his additional movement speed as the rest of Vitality is looking to collapse. Because you end up in this crazy affair where Jarvan gets this absolutely insane engage, GX feels very trapped, but Kazi isn't even involved in the fight, and GX actually have the numbers advantage. So there's a world where they can still win this. Unfortunately for them, Nucko here on the angle interrupts Jackie's. Humanoid sets up for the miasma onto multiple members. Isma's not really able to contribute much to the fight. And this is where we see some of the mechanical excellence of Vitality. Kazi's able to connect his ultimate, beautiful skill shots connecting from Fleshy, and overall a fantastic chase down where Vitality demonstrating how their hands are just so good in these situations where they can navigate these chaotic circumstances and find opportunities to get winning fights.
I mean, I think the fact that you're able to draft these champions, while I love the draft, it does have a huge downside, right? You're playing champs that need to win lane. The Quinn, if she loses lane, she's going to be useless. And it's the same thing with Caitlyn Elise. If these champions fall behind, you have dead weights on your team. But Vitality is a team in our league right now that can pull off these champions with their explosivity and their creativity. It's just phenomenal to watch.
When we often talk about Karzi Ezreal, Karzi Corki, we forget about his Caitlyn. Absolutely deadly. And I've seen a lot of doubters online from Vitality saying that chaos is needed from them, but they don't actually know how to thrive without this. But turns out they can still innovate with this style, and they're going to challenge you every step of the way. It is intentional, and that is their identity right now.
Absolutely, and I think we saw some mechanical excellence from Kazi today especially. And I think that what's so fun about watching this team is I do have criticism around their ability to close out games. When they do have a lead, their ability to go from, okay, with the lead that we have, how do we quickly close things out? But I think that that's usually against the better teams that we have in the league that do a good job of fighting back. And I think, again, GX, as we've talked about, did a good job of finding what opportunities they could, but with clever drafting and good navigation, Vitality, the way they immediately started the second Baron, the way that they pushed their advantages where they could, overall nothing but impressive to see.
What more do you need from GX though? Because the draft was good. It's more
I mean, the draft was good, but Vitality outplayed them every step of the way. I think Giant X and Vitality, you can both see that these teams want to brawl it out. So Giant X needs to be able to find winning lanes of their own. They had strong laners, but they were still losing lanes. They need someone that Isma can actually play around and snowball through so that we can see him innovating and see him comfortable that we've seen him like before.
I think that Jackie's is playing like a monster right now, and I want to keep seeing him play like that. His use of the flash this game was very impressive to see. And again, like, as Jack mentioned earlier, I don't think they inherently did anything wrong. Like, I think they just got outplayed. So, similar to what Gyora said in the interview at the start of the day, my plan is not to change very much. My plan is not to kind of reinvent the wheel. I think my players just need to lock in and have a good game. And if they can do that, give themselves the tools to do that, I can very much see them going toe-to-toe with Vitality.
Keep the same approach, but bring it faster, one step higher, because Vitality came ready here today. Let's see what happens in game 2.
I am very excited to see how this game 2 turns out, because a best-of-3 series between these two organizations has never gone to 3 games. So for Vitality, things are looking on the up and up with this first game win in their belt.
Well, that's some history for you then, because for Giant X, I do feel like bit of wind in their sails with the draft would be possible to take us to a 3. I don't know. I want to be optimistic because game 1 was a lot of fun. Game 1, you and I reminiscing, like it felt like being back in the LPL days where we just had these psychotic drafts that wanted to go toe-to-toe, and we didn't even have that many kills a minute. But it was just all this skirmishing that came so close so many times. We'll see how we go. By the way, Giant X, they are going second pick here, while Vitality choose blue side, aka normal stuff.
Yeah, which I think will help out, especially for Lost, and trying to give him some sort of counter pick there. To give him his due, though, I think he did a great job in that match.
Pretty good game.
That is not a very easy matchup to try and survive in, and he was able to keep the gold lead within about like 300 to 400, which is nigh on impossible, especially against a player of the caliber of Nako. So fair play to Lost to do his piece there, and now with a potential counter pick for him as well, I think it'll make that job a little bit easier against Nako.
Well, Quinn is off the table, so that takes a lot off for Vitality, you know. By the way, that was Nako's first ever competitive game of Quinn. The fact that it was a win is crazy. So let's see what they pull out this time around. Standard stuff is being taken off the board. Nocturne goes even with the Orianna. It's like Nocturne from Brooklyn, Nocturne. And then we've got a Pantheon, Ezreal. But Dagda, you talked about things like Karma, the Seraphine Asher available. Nako just locks it in for Vitality. There's the Ash.
Which means you could immediately go for the Ezreal Karma in response here if you wanted to, just to try and get that kind of push. Or take the Ezreal Zinzao or Karma Zinzao away.
Ezreal's gone, Dagda.
Ezreal's gone, true.
What do we do if Ezreal's gone?
Then you're kind of out of luck. Because Varus could be a decent answer. Caitlyn as well. The Lulu and
Evo nas nazad.
could be an answer. Or
Ajmo sad da vidimo šta će biti od drafta.
Other option as well. But we'll have to see basically what the game plan is. Karma is a decent.
Ja se nadam da će Vitality opet izvući nešto fun, mada verovatno Seraphine zajedno sa Ash.
Heal and shield and keep you moving about against the Ash, but I do think it'll probably be something like a Corki Nami along those lines. But we'll have to see if that is the game plan.
Well, I can tell you for Giant X at the very least, there has been a bit of Kai'Sa. Remember Kai'Sa was banned in game 1? So it would be interesting to see if they start pulling out a Kai'Sa comp. Yunara's also been picked a lot. The Seraphine has been disconnected from the Ash lane, though.
We saw this yesterday as well, where teams are just trying to take the 2 away. The answer that we saw was take the Lulu instead. So Ash Lulu, so you still get a very strong support alongside the Ash, something that can still bully relatively well. And then enables the Ash, especially with the Kraken Slayer build, to be an absolute menace with the extra attack speed that you can get. We'll have to see if that is going to be the plan here, as it looks like it will be. And then Humanoid, I think the answer could be Wukong in this sort of scenario to pair alongside it. As you've got good engage, the Lulu can help keep the Wukong safe and provide that wall growth for the intermission between both Cyclones.
Also, it's been used as engage, so it's been talked about in LCK today as well. Like, normally with the Yanara, but can be with anything else. Even this Aatrox here, as that has become a bit of a jungle special. Can be a flex, but most likely going in the jungle. Yeah,
I imagine it will be. It's something that can trade relatively effectively against Inzao in the early skirmishes and can be enabled thanks to the extra like shielding and heal.
Aatrox možda bude u džungli, možda bude na topu. Vidjet ćemo kakva je situacija.
Long range as well seems to be the answer. And I think that'll be kind of what Giant are looking for. So I expect that they're going to look for kind of heavy, kind of melee playmaking solo laners off of this one as well, because you want something that the shielding and healing can get value from the Seraphine, and also something that can supplement the damage from the Jhin, who can struggle in those mid-game fights.
But let's see what else gets supplemented here, because we've got jungle, we've got bot lane, solo lanes sent to the wayside, as Nah might indicate there is going to be a tank top for Lot this game. Now, Renekton is his most played, but we're talking about the Cassantes. He's played the Scion game, and Besser as well as an option. Giving safety here for Lot. I mean, it also makes sense when Lot in the first game, as you said, had to solo lane into a Quinn as Renekton. I think that guy needs a break.
Yeah, I think they'll be holding on to that counter pick for loss,
which would be nice,
just to make sure he's fine.
Yep.
I'd love to see him kind of go towards something like an Abessa though. Again, like these things that can be playmakers that thrive when they're able to get extra uptime through the heals and shields that Seraphine can enable, and also Seraphine can support as they jump in thanks to that crescendo. So, sorry, not crescendo, the ultimate that she has. So I think that's where I'd be focusing. As the Annie is going to be a curious one. Like, I kind of be looking at things like the Aurora and these kind of things, and maybe that's what the Annie ban is for, just to make sure they can't get burst out in those early stages.
Yeah, maybe anything it can neutralize, right? Are we going to get something like an Ari as an option as well? Are you worried about getting through the Lulu and a potential tank line?
I don't like an Ari for Jackies in this specific situation because I don't think it provides enough damage.
Yeah.
I think the Aurora
you did
would
mention
be decent.
Aurora, yep.
Or if you really wanted to go for like an Akali or a Silas as well, could do. But I think Silas blind is a little tricky. We have seen it as an answer into things like the Victor a little bit, which I haven't been the biggest fan of, but I think Aurora is your best bet here.
Well, if you're going into Humanoid, the bet could be anything, by the way, because on the other side, Humanoid has played 13 unique champions this split.
That's not bad.
So, yeah, so I think he might have an option into this Aurora. Let's find out. Things like the Syndra he's played, Lissandra, he's played Galio.
I think he's played the Aurelion Sol into this as well in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's going to go for the Syndra, yeah.
Oi, okay.
So, I think this is good. Like, a lot of the way that Giant are going to play is having these kind of this artillery style from the bottom lane, but the rest of it will be relatively short range, like Aurora try to jump in to get that
Jace, Syndra, Aatrox.
Now you've got decent poke and some decent long range thanks to Jace alongside it, and now the ability for a lot of these up close and personal champions to try and have that ability to mess with them, both with the Scatter of the Weak and also the Polymorph. Could work out relatively well for you here.
Jace has been played by Nucko if you're all interested at home. 2-5 record, but it's more games played than the Queen on the stage, as Rumble is going to be there just to try and match as well. So, again, from Giant, you'd say it's overall pretty standard, Dagda. Like, their Game 1 comp was pretty standard. And Vitality have, again, just thrown a couple of picks that are initiating a bit of range, bit of pick we talked about, maybe enabling this Aatrox to reset, and alongside the Ashe take over the fights.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's in my head, though, was Jackie's Aurora against Shifters.
Oh, that was
blew up
good.
a Lulu for Trimby quite a few times in that one. So I'm wondering if we'll be seeing a similar performance here from Jackie's on this Aurora. Will be, I think, a little bit more difficult, though, thanks to things like the Hawk Shot being able to spot out if he is going.
Ne znam, Jhin Seraphine mi malo čudno, iskreno, ali vidjet ćemo. Uzeli su Seraphine samo da ne bude Ashe Seraphine, što razumem. Mislim da je to okej.
On the Giant X side. Still, though, I think Giant X have decent ways of starting fights, like curtain calls, deadly flourishes, Seraphine ultimate.
Ali vidjet ćemo kakva je situacija tu.
That's where you get a lot of follow-up value from the Aurora, from the Rumble ults as well, to try and lock people down or at least slow people so they can't run away.
Maybe more options for Giant X will enable us to get this game 3 that we want. I mean, so far, the first opening game of this series is exactly what we expected, maybe a little bit more as we deliver through, but I've been told that Lensis is 4-0 on Aatrox, so that could be a concern. that Giant need to address. Last time we had Kazi on the Caitlyn, which stayed undefeated. This time we have Linces on the Aatrox that takes over games. This is a lane. These are lanes with a lot of setup as well, Dagda.
I mean, these are also lanes for Vitality that really do want to win hard. Like, when you look at Jace, when you look at the Syndra, like, Syndra has decent scaling since she got that rework, but you definitely want to be taking over in the early stages and having control, especially against something like an Aurora. So I think that's where for Vitality...
Mislim, ako ništa opet gledamo agresivan draft, tako da to mi je cool, gledamo u stvari na badanje.
And it's interesting to see as well how, like, they've kind of
Lepo od humanoida.
towards that style, and Nak has kind of been at the forefront.
Phase da izvuče nazad, da dođuje. Od Jackie, začudim jer Jackie nije cool startovao u Syndra matchupu. Ali možda se Jackie znao da će moći pogodi i da dođe Syndra u istom tradu, pa kao...
I mean, you'd expect and trust that he's kind of the player to do it as well. Just a quick side note, we need to quickly highlight, feels like the man of game number 1 if we were to give an MVP. Of course,
Flash mora se pazi.
pretty well for Giant X's Flashy.
Baš je dobio batine.
No one has to reload in 2026, and that's a worry, but Flashy will be able to back out. But yeah, this man, Kazi destroyed on his Caitlyn yet again, and I feel like he's having such a good split.
Yeah, and at this time it was less so about Karzi and Fleshy taking over in the lane. Like, that's traditionally what we've seen with Karzi when he's paired alongside what has been Fleshy's Bard on the Caitlyn, where they find a ton of work in the 2v2. This time around, Fleshy was roaming significantly more, playing towards that mid lane, and it was Karzi who got that big win off of that mid lane fight. Yeah. So I think that's where it'll be interesting to see now. Can they find that early success once again for the Vitality bot laner? Because for me, this focus
Kisma, top gank, Jace 0 vardova. Nak igra kod da jungler ne postoji. Mislim da je mrtav ovde. Ima Conqueror, nema Phase. Možda ni mrtav je. Čim ga je pogodio Harpoon, mrtav je bukvalno. Nema flasha, nema ništa. Mislim, ima flash, ali kao nema ugla da ga iskoristi.
At the moment, Linces doesn't really have any way to try and push back against this. You can look at Isma, who already will be able to...
On će umro, neće umro, dobio leva.
Very low here.
Goes to the Veil for a little bit. Humanoid didn't have his combo up and available, nor the mana to pull it off. So Humanoid feeling good in the lane. And remember, he chose this into the Aurora pick that he's pulled out before.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is something that can bully the Aurora, and oftentimes you will see like the early Merc threads up against the Syndra, just to try and bypass some of that early damage that the Syndra can throw out, and also the CC that is very good for setup for people like Linces. But I don't think it's going to be too much as bot lane.
It's a deadly flourish. It's a volley in response. Noah's ready to walk forward, heal for a bit of sustain in the lane. Flashy getting poked out as he walks up as well, but all said and done, the wave will reset a bit with Giant X having a couple of extra minions to push out and Vitality ready to receive.
Linces did make his way through mid lane though, picking up both Scuttlecrafts. So this was the trade-off for Isma looking for that play on top side. Means it will delay his level 6, which is not the end of the road, but the amount of space he just bought.
Znaš Humanoid samo gleda stakove ovdje, gdje je fajn u matchupu, samo da... Okej.
As Isma making his way down towards the bottom side, I thought it was just to get a ward down and maybe look for a reset. Could be looking for more though, as it's forcing Vitality's bot lane to back away from their turret.
Ovo mi je lepo. Baituju, mislim, oni misle da Xin dive bot, zato su toliko back-offovali. Su fazonu koji Xin dive moraju da respektuju, to je jedna stvar u kompetitivu što... Ja kad igram solo queue, recimo imam taj problem, da vidim junglere u fazonu sam hoću da ih outplayam ispod kule. Često se dogodi na mom streamu da ih outplayam, ali ovdje je malo teža priča. Kad su ono na voice-u svi, razumete, igraju LEDs. Syndra flash, ne, ne mora, dobro. Okej. Clean, humano, but Isma? Prochill. Prochill.
Steals them away and then turns into that topside play. Really good hands up, and this is why I love watching Linces. I think his jungle path is a
force of will to flash away. Humanoid matches it, one more auto. Jackie's about to die. The sphere. It's a solo bolo from Humanoid. Flash, wind becomes lightning, audacious charge. Isma does get a response and gets one back.
Isma forcing to flash to make that play safe. But still, good stuff from Humanoid. Killing Jackies on the play was massive in the mid lane.
Well, the solo kill, look at the wave. I think it's pretty neutral, but For Humanoid, who doesn't have TP, nothing will really come out of it.
But also is very needed because Humanoid had started to slip behind a little bit on the CS, so this helps, but a good scout of the week. Jackie's doesn't have any sort of mana. Humanoid, thanks to that speed up as well, able to finish off Jackie's with the fadeaway. And here you can see Humanoid knew that the Wind Becomes Lightning was coming, tried to sidestep it.
Lepo Isma odigrao, iskreno.
Sets up for the kill.
Well done from Isma. I mean, that could have gone horribly wrong. And the fact that he gets another kill puts him on the board. When you talk about Linces taking away his camps in the top side, those kills are keeping Isma within driving range, at least an experience bar, but also within the gold value here in this second game.
Yeah, and you can see again though, like these junglers incredibly active in the early stages, and hard focus on where they know that main win condition is for the opposite side. We talked about Vitality wanting to try and play through those strong lanes, especially in the top side for Nako. Isma was already trying to shut that down, and now he's covering for mid. Lince is spotted on this bottom side though. Giant X won't be giving him too much, but may give just enough control for him to look towards Crab and potentially a Dragon if he wants to.
A lot of coverage in this bottom lane. Lince is now going to see this control ward in the Fey Light. And as you said, Scuttle Crab is available for the level 6 Aatrox, so as he takes that, we'll just see if he can do anything else, especially with Fleshy clearing away the Pixel Brush ward that spotted him earlier.
Yeah, the only thing is if you try and go for it, there is a chance for Linces to move into this top side, try and steal away the blue that's just spawned.
Yeah.
So that may be the response from Isma if Dragon is started immediately after this, but we'll have to see as we end up into this pause.
We're going to find out what that is. It's just been reported, but no information as of yet. However, early game is spicing up. I mean, Linces is on the board, but I think big way, Isma is getting the early game that we've really known him for this split. Isma's early games have been what controlled Giant X and put them in that 4-0 position, I think mainly, predominantly. So it's a pretty good start for GX.
But I think it's the understanding of Isma when to break the rules that makes it so impressive. Because like in this game, right? Traditionally what we've seen from most junglers is you full clear twice, you handshake one crab each, and then you try and play for that level 6. Like that's where this whole, you know, back for 5 or take your camp after 5:30 so then you can get the smite upgrade, because that will give you the smite advantage that gives you level 6. Like that has been the deciding conversation on how you play jungle at this stage. But what Isma does is say, okay, I understand that, but there are certain situations where it is just better for me to try and focus on my lanes, to make sure that then actually later on I can play off of a stronger position for my top laner, that then enables me to get an invade and make up maybe for a double Scuttle Crab given away. This game hasn't come back to, oh, I've been able to keep up on camps, but he got a kill top. He was able to secure that.
Ne znam šta se događa sa pauzicom, tako da čekamo da to reše.
Fairly decent spot. Still down, as we said, on like a little bit of camps and experience, because he is.
Da ćemo polako se vrnemo nazad.
The gold he's up, he's helped to secure at least a little bit of an easier time for lot on that top side. And I think that's the most impressive part for me and Isma is like understanding when he should break those rules to secure big advantages for Giant X, and that's something he started to do a lot more this
It's his growth as a player as well, right? Just quick tangent, you can see the bottom of your screen, there is a potential bug reported. We are now reviewing to see what's up. Now, I can't speculate, but I will just question.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Did you see anything?
I didn't cop anything there, right? I was kind of focused on, okay, like drawing to be like, hey, here's what could happen in the response from Isma on a potential invade. So I didn't quite see, but I mean, I don't think it's anything particularly...
Vidjet ćemo šta se događa. Kažem, nemam ni ja info.
It's not a game-breaking moment, you know, we're not in the middle of a fight. So.
But yeah, I think this is like...
Valjda ćemo dobiti uskoro.
Hey, probably something didn't go the way it was supposed to, or didn't slot in the way it was supposed to.
Lulu's picks is like stuck on someone else, you know, or like there's a Corky's Gatling gun in a game that's not Corky's not there.
Yeah, but we still hear the Gatling gun.
We still hear the Gatling gun.
Because he's not in my dreams, but I still hear it.
Yeah, he's still here. I wake up at 2 AM in the morning, and all I hear is that machine gun. Man, Giant X, yeah, I mean, there must be a little bit hard fought coming into these back-to-back days, don't you think? Because they had yesterday versus Na'Vi, coming off a loss where it was like, it was definitely their worst series. And then running into today into Vitality. It's a really hard weekend for them, you know.
I mean, their schedule is tough. They kind of, like, that was the conversation, right? Was that a lot of their wins were against teams that were lower down in the table.
Yeah, yeah.
So now it kind of is a, hey, you've warmed up, time to play with the big boys. And it does leave me a little bit concerned as to where they land in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But there's also the conversation around that I've heard like so much about, you know, playing back-to-back days. Does it help? Does it hinder you?
Valjda neće biti chrono breaka. Možemo samo da se nadamo.
And it starts to just feel normal. We don't have to get warmed up. We're already in the headspace for it.
Yeah.
And I think you see that a lot at internationals, especially, where teams will be like, oh no, playing from play-ins actually gives you quite a big advantage in that you get to explore the meta, you get to figure out what you like playing on stage, what really works for
I mean, that's how T1 scaled through play-ins,
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
and
I mean, DRX and EDG were play-ins teams as well, right? Wasn't it? So, or maybe not EDG.
I can't remember EDG, but like, I mean, 2021 was COVID, I couldn't remember anything from that year, but like DRX, for example, yeah, underdog story, and even like T1 have had their underdog story, and I do feel like, yeah, more stage games. Obviously, not being a player, we're just spectating. We're just, you know, speculating, I should say. But it is interesting. I wonder how Vitality would feel about it, because Vitality, for example, have had the best split, I think, of in the longest time since like what 2018, since like.
Stvari se okreću istina. Giants i Vitality i Navi su sad na samom vrhu. Ajde, Casey nije odigrao dovoljno gameova i G2 također nema puno partijama, da je G2 2-2. Tako da ima i toga.
Day 1 of week 3, day 2 of week 3. And now again, day 2 of week 4. Like, they have played back-to-back days, really. And they're looking like their best form.
Yeah. And I think the impressive part is, like, they've played a lot of the, like, top, quote-unquote top teams, right? Like, they beat MKOI 2-1. They're just off the back of beating G2 2-1 last week. KC, they did lose to in a 2-1, but a very, very close series. So that was in our very start of the split. So, again, I think, like, it is impressive to see what these lads have done.
Yep.
Because especially, like, it feels like the kind of the project that they had is starting to work together with Humanoid being added in.
Sure.
Carzy, Humanoid.
Mislim su redi da se vratimo nazad, što je lepo.
Look way more confident now with the way that the atmosphere seems to be, and Nako we keep highlighting as well. Now, I do think, you know, Nako hasn't found some of the success that in the last couple of games that I've seen from him.
Yeah,
where I've been like, but he's still an incredibly potent top laner.
I mean,
and I think clearly the best top laner that we have in the league.
It was versus Rooster, where it was like, I think he had one of his down series, like it wasn't as good. But then when you're like, well, I mean, still versus BB versus Mainter versus
Kana as well.
Kana, like he still looked exceptional. Then I don't really blame him. Bottom of your screen, conducting ready checks. So that's happening now. I'm still waiting to get an update. As soon as I hear, I will let you know what the potential bug is. Oh, I'm getting a scroll on the prop. We have investigated the issue. There is a bugged interaction with Xin Zhao Q. This bug will resolve itself, and therefore we will continue playing.
Ki ništa nisu radili,
It will
bukvalno.
resolve itself. Xin Zhao will talk to his spear. What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
And then they'll get back in the game.
Yeah, it's the same attitude I take to the chores in my house.
Oh, really?
It will resolve itself if I
Do you look at your hands and you say, come on, man, just...
The bug will resolve. Bug će sam da se reši.
I'll look at the Hoover and be like, you know,
Okay.
I really should, but it'll
Fair.
resolve.
Čekamo da se bug sam reši.
I'll use my foot and that'll go on and do it
I have
for me.
Dracos' old one, and it does its best, but I won't say it does everything that's needed.
They don't always do. Those robot vacuums, man, they tell you the future is bright, but that thing gets stuck on a cable. Equalize is going to come down as we come back to live. Thank you for waiting with us. Again, Electro Harpoon and a bit of an explanation. Remember, it was Xin Zhao Q bug, and it has resolved itself. So, for whatever that's worth, it's done, it's dusted, it doesn't affect the game state. A Cloud Dragon has been taken as Isma looks for a dive.
But this is what we're talking about, right? With the Dragon being taken, Isma can look for the invade. Doesn't get the camp, but is looking towards Nako, who is very low in this top lane.
He got poked out by an Equalizer by many Electro Harpoons.
Ovo je clean dive.
Damage should be enough. Shock blast to keep the minion wave.
Isma verovatno tenkuje ili Lot baci Harpun 2 podena. Za malo. Nakon it. Nice try, iskreno. Nice try. Mislim, realno nije mnogo bolji play od toga. Verovatno ugoda malo može više ka levo ga šutne, ali kao... To je fine.
Good kill. Nako 0-2 to start this game off. And Isma really off to the races here, getting a lot of gold himself. Nako will be able to TP up as Carzy sets up the ghost, dodges away from the encore, and the chase will continue. Fourth shot being threatened, goes on to Fleshy. And at half HP, he's okay to run forward, flashes away from the deadly flash. Jun now flashes back, and Carzy won't get the kill. They'll just stand
Okay,
Noah.
Noah? Lulu napadač.
Love being on that scoreboard.
I mean, as a support main, this feels good to see, but for 80 carries, it could have gone a little brighter for them. Still, though, it's as Jun steps up here, this is the power of these two, and Carzy plays this fantastically. Side steps away from all the Seraphine damage.
Carzy je baš on fire.
Noah ends up using the fortune channel towards Fleshy, which allows Carzy to then continue to play this out. Fleshy flashing away from the deadly flourish enables them to follow up on the rest of this, but it's a level 6 hit. But Fleshy not quick
Da je mogo Noah, da nije mora flashu ima ulti mogu bio bojicu da je konektovao 4 šota.
Where he couldn't quite get it to save Carzy's life, and Noah gets one back, and you can see that's a little bit of a gold lead there because those 2 kills went to Fleshy.
Earlier, Mikhail's earlier first item here for Flesh.
Not bad, iskreno.
I mean, that's going to be the reality. Dragon was taken earlier by Vitality, so it's not like that play nets anything else in the bottom lane. But Arrow into Noah might. He used Cleanse before, but Carzy doesn't really have that much more follow-up, that much damage with the BF sword. Dodges away from Deadly Flourish, and now again, Jun hovers, so Carzy has to back off.
Yeah, just looking for a little bit of poke damage. Don't think there is much follow-up at the moment.
Ash ne ide na Kraken. Jako lepo vidjeti da neko builda non-Kraken build. Mislim samo toliko superiorniji u solo queue da to nije normalno.
So gold is a little bit in favor of Noah down in the bottom lane, all things considered. Outside of don't look at supports, but everything else is even outside of, I'd say, Isma, who holds the lead right now. He's already got a Titanic Hydra in the jungle. Didn't want to go Sundered Sky. So he's got a bit of extra damage amplification on these grubs as Linces has come to say hello.
And I do like this when you've got a Seraphine in the game who can keep you topped up, but Linces bypasses the vision.
Ot ima flash i sad, mislim, mrtav sve. Flashovo je pullback al džabe.
And even it holds Isma off of these grubs as well. So
trying to use the weirding, the burst, good scout of the week.
Okay.
Jackie's now out of range. And it means that Jackie's couldn't get his full burst down. All in, audacious charge. Linces gets some healing with the Sundered Sky, hops over the wall.
Link's fine.
Interrupted on the grubs.
Gubi grabove, ali... Fajn je Vitality, iskreno. Mislim, gledam ovaj game, mislim Vitality skroz okej. Najiskrenije. Ne izgleda ovo toliko loše uopšte za njih.
But you can see the addition of this Titanic Hydra is great for Isma in this sort of situation. You can fight really effectively against Linces because you can proc that Q so incredibly quickly thanks to the reset on the auto attack of the Titanic Hydra. But also, you don't need the Sundered Sky as much because Jun has the healing and shielding to keep you topped up. So it makes things a little bit easier where you can go for this like squishier build, I say in quotation marks, but still be very effective in a team fight. So I like the adaptation from Isma.
I might get a taste of it soon. Dragon's up in a minute. The first one went to Vitality, so already on the board when we're talking about this game, once again being focused around these laners, Isma's on the top side for now, trying to use this window to maybe invade here, Dag, to set up for another dive?
Maybe, but Lot has no equalizer, so this would be a little bit dicey.
Wave is thin, that's 2 minions, turning into hammer form in a second, maybe. Nucko holding his ground to the skies, gets sent up, but the damage from Isma is huge. Slow is great, but as he flashes away...
Lep, flash, clean. Dobro, okej. Ne znam, mislim, iskreno kažem, obe ekipe su jako decent ovaj split. Dobar arrow u Džina, zato vidimo još u Džina možda radi. Malinkas je ult, ali taj ulti ne ide nigde, forsirao je heal. Jer ovi su napravili play na topu i onda Vitality gleda pravi counterplay na botu, što je tačno. Ali... na kraju nisu toliko našli, I guess. Ne znam, evo, gledam ovaj game i jako sam srećan što je LoL konačno nazad u nekom stanju gdje u stvari gledamo jako zabavne partije. Jer stvarno, mislim, ja volim makor igru u LoLu i kao volim da gledam, sad ko se malo se kod toga seća, ali kad su bili ono 4-man u džungli, proxy level 1, ja mnogo volim te kao strateške stvari, ali ne volim kad meta postane bajeta. Kad gledam ono Ksante u Rambla svaki meč, niko ništa ne radi. Ovo je fun, igraju na ruke, igraju agresivnije pikove, drafta se za mid game. Mnogo je čistije ovo. Mnogo je čistije ovo.
But Linces immediately turning tail towards this top side. Wants to try and look for a dive, but the wave is gone. And Isma is trying to match him. I mean, again, these junglers constantly trying to go for tit for tat.
I mean, these junglers are fed. Like 4 kills on Isma, 3 on Linces.
To je problem. Da. Mora da flasha. Sad će ga dive u flash i treba da uzme... Ne, neće. Ok, uzeo je Karzija, bio u nivici. Clean, jako clean dive.
I don't think he realized that the Lulu was there. Assumed that she was moving around the map to try and match the Jun was roaming, but got out.
Between worlds, excuse me, between the Veil rather. Humanoid just gets stepped on and actually takes no damage because he didn't get hit. And Dagda, I was going to say again, Kazi's up 1,200 gold now, and he's been picking up plates and CS. He's just going to get this solo turret.
Yeah, he's going to be very, very strong. First turret taken for an Ashe already, going for a much more damage-oriented build as well with the Storm Razors. Like, I think you are looking at Karzi, he's going to be hitting like a truck.
Again.
Especially when you've got the Lulu in your back pocket. Like, you can get the speed up, or the auto attack speed up there. You don't need it from anywhere else. And you've already got the Mikhails completed for Fleshy. So any sort of like potential pick...
Naravno, nisu loši Giantsi, nisu loši Giantsi, iskreno. Da i Vitality kida, nema šta. Sad je Jackies dole. Ali dobro, Karzi očigledno zna bolje nego da se zaleti pravo u Auroru, jer možda ga šota i dalje s pola itema. Karzi, Storm, Razor Ashe. Mislim, to baš nikad nismo vidjeli.
I think this is going to be the focus now. How do Vitality try and play around Karzi, especially around like objective fights, and try to enable him as he works up towards another BF item?
Man, it's going to be a strong Ashes. Herald's up in 15 seconds. Take notes on that one. That'll be the next focus here as Fleshy just tagged out by Jun. But a dragon apiece. Not really deciding the game, kind of like game one. You know, we had our dragons spread out. They're a little bit slower in the game. Not everything in the kitchen sink committed. But now topside with the objective might be pretty good for Giant X because Nako is getting bullied again. Here comes Jackies, and yes, he is out of vision.
Still, Nako should have the accelerated shock blast to try and clear it. The back three minions. Lot blocks it though. So Nako steps up.
Quick to the skies, equalizer. He dodges it completely. Lot's going to get behind the minion wave, but Fleshy's on the way. Lot, that's deep. Without a minion wave, he takes a turret shot as well. Nako steps up for the damage while Noah is caught out in mid lane. Dunked on by Lenses.
3-600, boga mi je, mislim da Vitality... Ima što je Nako giga behind, ali nije ni nužno bitno, jer ti kad pogledaš nije ni Rumble ahead. Flash je pogođen, moraju njega da switchaju da... Jer faktički svega što je dogodilo na topu Isma je uzeo kajmak. Jeste, da. Dobro, mislim, ovdje su iskampovali Naka, nije... Ja kažem da on nije kriv, mislim 0-3, ali većinom je bilo pressure s druge strane, znaš. Nije on sam rundownovo 3 put, su ga ubili ispod kule. Okej, Arrow ništa. Lingas je probao da kupi vreme, sam mora da izvuče.
But at the very least, Vitality doesn't like they're losing that much.
But it's Vitality who have numbers advantage now. Nako moving through mid gives Vitality a little bit more confidence to start up this Rift Herald. Maybe Karzi can fish for more, but doesn't quite get the slow onto Noah there.
Doesn't have Vision, Chad, and Chris are up either. Fleshy with no wild growth. There is an old difference in the bottom lane as there's a TP being burned by Jackies. He's got himself a Protobelt. So first item on the board as Humanoid's going to scatter the weak and really dodge the play. But Protobelt from Jackies gets him back in harm's way. The weirding, you're waiting for the burst to flash up and enabled by Isma. 3 talent strike was great, but Fletchy saved Humanoid with the shield. Scatter the weak, flash. Jackies can't get the damage. Oh no.
Mislim da Karzi linka snejore, ne. Nema Karzi Arrow još. On je fight.
Deadly fire's coming out of Curtain Call to Humanoid. Going to be blocked by Fleshy. Second, third, and the fourth. All blocked. Humanoid is safe, and Giant X wanted to commit it hard for that play.
But Humanoid gets the wave, gets out, and Rift Herald was taken by Vitality. So now again they can use that to crack open either the last remaining turret and top side, or blow through some of these tier 2 towers in mid and bot lane. Giant X really needed that to connect to try and get this game a little bit back in their favor, but they weren't able to do it.
Humanoid just walked it out. Kazi, I mean, we saw in the previous play, he was just picking up gold, but he's now just got an Infinity Edge. So yeah, that is a very strong Ashe.
So like traditionally when you see Ashe, it's like, oh, we're going this Kraken Slayer build, and we're playing for uptime in fights to get Kraken procs. This is every auto is going to hit like a truck. You might get to see it now.
Isma tagged out. It's good damage, it's good stunning, but nothing really big committed. In front of this dragon, Giant X have the health bars to contest, but remember Vitality, they got good pick tools. One misstep from Giant X and that gold lead is going to soar.
Still, Vitality need to get their waves in shape. Linces, Battle Herald commenced as he sets that one down. Giant X decide to back away, but for Vitality, I think they're happy. They just want to try and buy the space and keep Giant X out of river.
It'll run down the mid lane. Attention needs to be given. The Herald and the Wave are already there. Dagda, Vitality taking the inside track.
This choke point is devastating for Giant X though, thanks to things like the Syndra EQ combo.
Hang on, weirding. Jackie's been found out by Nuko. He's taking a flanking angle. Jun's going to help him out. Drops the beaters. Enchanted Cross Arrow on the main fight. Noah caught out, has to flash away. Lot is burning them down though, but Lens is still okay with the Wild Growth Lot about to tick over. While meanwhile,
Jackie živ Nako je mrtav ovdje, opet. Da, Karzi anti-heal je fajn. Giants vratili seriju skoro. Vitality ne bi sa 5k golda smeo da gubi fightove, iskreno. Najiskrenije. Mislim da ne bi smeli da gube sa toliko golda.
Giant X, the Dragons are meaningful. Gold doesn't change that much, but still we'll look at a replay as to how this play ended up.
Because what Vitality wants is choke points that they can try and use the Ash Arrow.
Plus Vitality ne bismo da gubili.
You can see there, they nearly get locked. He flashes away, heals up. On the opposite side of the fight, Nako can't quite get Jackie's because of the Between Worlds. And at that stage, he's overextended. Vitality can't help. They, I believe, got the charge in mid though. At least, yeah, because it's down to 1.
Okay.
But it's a small silver lining for what was a big win for Giant X.
Because now they got themselves some plating top and the turret, so a bit more gold back into Jackie's. Mid turret, thank you, observers, is quite low. As Linsus looks for an angle. Shock Blast with the acceleration gate going to give Nuko some speed. Jackie's running away. The weirding is going to give him some movement speed. Excuse me, Between Worlds. Is it up and available? No, not yet. Jackie's has used the Protobelt. Looking for that ulti. But across the veil ends up being enough here as Fleshy's here to support.
So there's not much that Vitality can really get here. Jackie's has decent wave clear, so she'll be able to thin out these waves. And there's no real push anywhere else in the map, so they will just leave it, try and help Karzi on this mid wave. But for Giant X, that's a big win. Like, they were already down nearly 5,000 gold.
Yep.
They've evened that up quite a bit. They're buying time by stealing dragons. So a nice play by Giant X, and I think for Vitality, they're gonna be kind of kicking themselves that they weren't able to find more in that fight.
Because in this game, it's not really a sure thing, right? I mean, we talk about the gold lead, but like, Nuko in this game, while he does have a tier, he's barely cresting towards that second item, towards that Mirror Mana.
He's very fine.
He's struggled this game, and to be fair, it's because of Isma constantly rediving that top lane.
And it's like, you can kind of look and go, oh, it's only 200 gold between, you know, both top laners. But realistically, like, you want to be ahead as Jace in this matchup.
Yep.
You are versus a melee carry. You should have been able to chip away at this tower and start to snowball this lead, but you just haven't been able to do that whatsoever.
This is looking for an angle. We come back to that top lane, and Nuko's giving a bit of a reprieve. Arrow is going to go wide. Jun steps it back as Isma's now.
I opet nemaju Arrow da engage-uju fight. Mada Linka si igra basti heroja. Brate mili, znači ovaj Aatrox ne mogu smislim koliko je jak. Samo će ostati bez ulta pre nego što završi fight i opet će izgubiti. Nako je mrtav.
Vitality were bluffing, and they got called by Giant X. Vitality were saying, we've got reinforcements here quicker than you have, but Giant X, they still feel it. They want to keep going.
Electro Harpoon, Deadly Flourish, Lince is able to dodge that, but the slow is already enough. Humanoid trying to zone out, looking for a good scatter of the week. The orbs go down, the Force of Will, great scatter. Will get Lot in the end as well, but not enough damage as Jackie's has an angle, but he's got no mana. On Lince, he's found out maybe a bluff from the mid laner of Giant X as he gets bursted out. Lot looking for the rest of the fight. The top lane not going well. Giant X are running down Vitality. Kazi has to fight, he kites back, gets Isma. Vitality on a slither of HP. Are still looking to fight another great scatter from Humanoid. Deadly Flourish from Noah. Stops the play again. Lince and Jackie's again. The flash.
Da Linka si ima ulti sebi ih presetovao ovdje bukvalno. Ok, Nako se vraća u game. Ash dobije Arrow opet. Lot umire, Noah umire, Jun ostaje. Jun umire, Baron za Vitality, 2-0 serija. Malo su ga izmaltretirali, iskreno zaslužio dobije neki kill. Ash je fajn, Ash može da raša Infinity ako hoće, to je fora.
And a long con of a fight. Vitality, a masterclass to pull off this stroke.
But look how slow Vitality play this. They're using the fact they have great range with humanoid.
Vitality je čekao Ergo dash.
Lince's a really good heads-up play to catch Jackie's on the flank. But here, like, the Scout of the Week is doing so much work. Carzy kind of just gets to walk up, poke a little bit. They burn flashes to keep space. And the entire time Vitality just using that spacing so...
I humanoid sa sketerima baš dosta radi. Baš dosta radi sa sketerima, iskreno.
And with this TP, Vitality knew they'd bought enough time and they could close this one out.
Nako finally, I mean, this is the biggest contribution he's had to this game. Lince as well, destroying a lot in, ends up being a trade, but Carzy and Fleshy, their contribution to this game once again has been magnificent. An ace, and this one looks a little bit tilted. I mean, this was a very winnable game with how they were coming back.
Let's do nice. No, please don't kill me. Let's do nice.
Clean comms. Clean comms.
Carzy has probably gotten a pretty easy MVP, but I will
Mogu Karoviću i... Aj sad ću čim se završi op. Pa actually možda mogu da podigne i bez toga.
Yeah, it has really been a globe for the support and jungle for Vitality. Like, it's amazing to see. And yeah, I think Fleshy's been absolutely fantastic so far. And same when it comes to the way that humanoid Scout of the Weeks work. I think they've been clutching some of these fights, and now Vitality stepping up with Giant X, 4 members.
Yoink. Yeah, Nako took that. Lince has just got the buff as well as he walked in, so Vitality stealing away Isma's jungle. 7,500 gold as they look towards that inner turret in top next.
O je, može, šta ćemo rešiti?
Jackie's will show, but they've got push in mid. Reset only now coming through from loss. And it looks like all 5 members of Vitality want to get this top tower.
Could end up being a dive. Humanoid trying to use the range, but Giant X are playing the space they need to respect. They're going to respect them, pull off the inner turret.
The siege is too strong. Jackie's does dodge.
Does dodge, that's nice. Between worlds, not going to pop as well. Equalize down under Fleshy, but
dižem server. Tako da, bit će up za minut 2. To je za minut. I sad dash samo šije. To je to, nice. And cross top, najbliže je Viv. Dario, Legendo, dezivertimo, još tima. Mislim da je live server već. Još proverim, ali... Evo vi da bude. Lodasi, to će biti top što se tiče ove serije. Ekipa Vitality je zaista fenomenalno odigrala, tako da se pohvale njima. Što se tiče Giantsa, iskreno, očigledno problema i dalje dosta postoji. Isma koji je tiltovan nije dobar znak za nastavak ovog splita za ekipu Giantsa, ali bilo kako bilo, mislim da imamo nekih 14 minuta pauze otprilike i onda se polako vraćamo nazad, tako da...
And so there you go. I mean, Vitality 6-1 is huge.
And they've lost playoffs with that win as well. So a very happy bow for Vitality.
Evo, dobili smo i playoff lock-in, što je poprilično cool. Tako da će biti dosta zadovoljni kako ide ova partija, to je kako ide ovaj split. Bilo kako bilo, mi idemo na malu pauzicu i onda nakon toga se vraćamo sa drugom serijom dana, tako da vraćamo se posle pauze, kao što kaže kolega Kaster, nakon toga serija broj 2.
cut down every last shadow. Cleanse this place once and for all. I will rid this world of demons. No matter the cost.
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express and game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Vitality is the first team qualifying to playoffs here in spring 2026. Thank you so much for joining us, Pad.
Thank you for having me.
Any comments on that?
No, it's just good. Just so happy.
Life's good? You're happy? All right.
I'm so happy. Like having this front-loaded schedule and then being able to qualify on like already now, which it's a bit weird because now we have a long time to prepare for playoffs.
Yeah.
But obviously just, yeah, really good.
Crazy year for Vitality so far.
Yeah, I mean, the globe has been insane. I think especially like just the individual pieces all coming together. Naknako, I feel like he's just like slowly been ramping up. Like he was always looking good, but then just better, and better. And it's been really cool that you guys can also execute like more niche drafts now, like that draft game 1 I was talking to you earlier about, that I loved it so much. And not just the draft, because like as you said, if that draft went bad, everybody would probably be blaming you. But the execution of the draft was perfect as well. Just super nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so nice to build confidence in a way from our players that we just know they're so good at executing when it matters. And if we have 3 winning lanes and they actually need to play out matchups really well, we just trust them to do it. And then if they, for some reason, don't today, then we tank the flame. That's okay.
It's interesting because when I hear people talking about Vitality, it's like, oh yeah, they have this good mood, good atmosphere, but it's the honeymoon phase. It just feels like it's the identity of the team. So from the inside, working with those guys, having the results that you have and this stability through chaos. Talk to me about what you've been doing with the boys.
I think what has been really important for these lads is that you allow them to express themselves creatively in the game. So a lot of what we are doing is, rather than like omega hard lines for early game structures and mid game structures, is that we just feed them so many tools that they can choose from, like from the best teams that we enjoy watching. So rather than when they have a map opening, they need to do X, Y, Z, and they have to say X, Y, Z, they have 3 choices. And these guys are just good enough to make the right choice out of 3 every time. So we just try to feed them really good league.
Is this the best team atmosphere that you've ever worked in? Because it seems like everybody's really liking each other and really happy, but I mean, it's always hard to say from the outside, right?
I think it's like maybe slightly lower than Mad Lions 2021, but very similar, like very similar vibes. So it's amazing. Like I'm happy to go to work every single day.
Love it. And I'm happy that you mentioned Mad Lions because Carzy was the key player of the series today. You've been working with this guy for such a long time. So what do you think about his evolution, and especially this year?
This guy, like we've had many talks over the years, because like I think in terms of like raw talent and gameplay, I've not really needed him to develop throughout the years. Like he's just been good. I think what we really needed from him was to grow up, to mature, like to step into like a veteran role within the team. Not in a he has to lead the team sort of way, but in a way of he will take care of his relationship on bot lane. And I think that him and Fleshy, like when they do this, and they do this a lot of the time this year, they are just so good.
Love it. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what Vitality can do in playoffs, because when I see the fans, it's like regular season, good, we know we have it. This is when it's going to come in clutch in playoffs. We're going to see about this one later. But let's focus on about the next game. MKOI, Heretics. Jack, I feel like it should be a pretty straightforward, stompy game for MKOI. That's what expected from them, at least.
I mean, for sure, I think this is like, if MKOI lose this, the MKOI camp is really, really scared, because this is a struggling Team Heretics who has just changed the jungler randomly out of nowhere. And MKOI as well hasn't been the MKOI that I've been used to seeing, so I think they should really use this as a kind of a confidence booster to build back up going into playoffs.
Yeah, I think like honeymoon phases are real, right? Like maybe Darkness just comes in and something clicks for them and they take a win. But for MKOI, I think they talked a lot about it in interviews as well. It's just like that confidence on stage, I think, because these guys they have insane hands. Like all 5 of them have really, really good hands. So if they click together, I think they'll probably find themselves again.
It's about making those hands work together as a unit. But as you said, Heretics not looking so good right now. You've been in this situation where you have a plan, you want to go long term, things don't go quite as expected, you have to make changes, and for Vitality I felt like it took a while before you guys found the formula. Obviously Heretics had the same approach, Hidon said it, we want to go for the long term. 2 changes so far. Tell me about this as a coach. When you have a plan, things don't go as planned. Where do you start adjusting? What do you even look at?
I think in our case it was pretty straightforward what we looked at, because Nako developed in a way where he could become like the star player or the franchise player, and then you build you find pieces that match that, and you tolerate pieces that are okay with it, and then you don't tolerate pieces that actively make it worse.
Yeah.
So I think TH probably need to find out what is the core of the team, like who are they building around, who is their guy, and if they don't have that, then they're cooked.
And this is where it's crazy, because Sheo was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Heretics made like a content piece that Sheo would be the face of the team, and the pivot from that very fast to now replacing him is honestly puzzling. It's hard to really know what their plan is. But I also want to just rack your head on Douglas, because you worked with him, right? It's kind of funny. He entered the LEC on Vitality in kind of a similar situation where Vitality was really struggling, and he got put to try to fix things. Do you think he's capable of fixing Team Heretics?
I mean, I think Douglas has proven time and time again, even when he was with us, when he went back to ERL as well, that this guy has really good hands and really good instincts. And I think that if that gives them an extra level of explosiveness or confidence, that can be a big strength for them.
Do you think that's what it's going to bring? Because for me, when I compared the two, obviously Sheo was supposed to be this explosive guy leading the early game, being the maestro of the early game. Obviously, it didn't even work lately. What do you think Douglas brings a lot of stuff on the casting list, thank you. But Douglas is going to bring to the table for an already really struggling Heretics?
I think he'll probably bring less comms in terms of like shot calling and leading the game, like with his voice, but he will lead the game with his clicks. And I think that is probably a good thing for TH. Like they swapped support. I don't know the level of English of support. If it's not good, then that can have a genuine negative impact on a shot caller, like who speaks English, right? So I think just having someone who comes in who plays on raw instinct, really good.
We're doing no communication, pure instinct, full mechanics. I mean, if Team Heretics can pull it off, I mean, that's pretty cool, I suppose.
That was the CV Max approach back then with Griffin, so let's see if it works for them. What kind of advice would you give your players already in a dire situation, having gone through one replacement, adding Wayne, the bot lane, now adding Douglas to the mix?
I mean, I think the number one thing that matters for all of these lovely players and what determines whether we have a good day or not is just you need to find a way to install confidence in them, and that's the number one. And that's hard when you're losing, but having that one player change can like kind of reset the confidence level, and then you really need to latch onto that, and you need to build on top of that, because otherwise you're going to go back.
All right, thank you for the advice, Pad. Always insightful. And that's actually what Douglas mentioned to me when I've talked to him, the confidence that he's going to bring to this Heretics roster. Let's check it out. Douglas, welcome back. Here we are again in the LEC. Funnily enough, the last time you were called back on an emergency like this was also against Koi. So tell me about this time with Heretics.
Well, as you said, since I was called up already in this situation, I have a bit more experience right now. I think I will come with way more confidence today. And obviously the situation is not the easiest, but we'll see what we can pull off.
Yeah, as you said, like, it's not common or easy being called in a situation like this. So from the experience you got last time, what do you think is going to be different for you? Where do you get this confidence from?
I mean, after that timing, I obviously got my 2 splits in LEC, so I'm used to the stage. I don't think I will struggle, or I'm at least not looking forward to struggle. I want to come with the confidence, and we will just see how the things goes.
What's your early read on the struggles that Heretics have been facing? As someone who's been looking at things from the outside, joining them now, what do you think?
Well, since I was at the academy, I had access, obviously, and from the things I could tell, I think it's confidence the most. I think if we play today as 5, I will push forward my team, and I just want everyone from our team to be confident and not be scared to make mistakes.
What do you think you can bring to the team? Because of course the team was very dysfunctional. Obviously there's been changes, support, now bringing you in. What do you think you're going to help in making difference? Even if it's a long process, of course.
Well, I think I've improved a lot the last 2 years, so maybe it is my time finally to take over in the communication topic, and I want to become very good leader on this team.
Well, best of luck. Again, not an easy situation, but I know you're going to do your best. And looking forward to seeing you on stage again, Douglas.
Thank you.
All right, re-debut of Douglas as we welcome you here to another Dagda and Nuck-Nucko. Congratulations on the win. Huge dub. You locked in playoffs and
you locked in
first time Quinn.
Yeah, I just first time Quinn. It happens, you know.
What do you mean it happens? Were you planning to do that today, or you just?
I mean, we tried it on scrims, it worked. Then we came to officials, they hit like Bard, so it was kind of hard to pick it, but I was like, let's just pick it. I don't want to play tank, so.
Yeah, fair enough. That's boring.
Yeah.
Let's put you on tank duty. Because, you know, I was repping up your history, and on air I was like, hang on a minute, you got no Quinn. You got like GP, you got Echo top, you got a Nivea top, Lucian set, but no Quinn.
It's
so,
also like,
well done,
we used to play in the, cast the LPL, so we'd see Quinn into an active loss, and you'd have a great early game, and then it would all fall apart.
Yeah.
No one knew how to play the mid game. So, but you were able to make it work. Like, it was successful.
I mean, I was supposed to find some moves on the mid game, but it was kind of rough because my team was just running it down. The Renegade opens top lane, I call it, then they just fight. So it was kind of hard to find some plays after that. But we made it happen in team fight, so I'm happy with that.
You did well. It's a win. It's a 2-0, but now on to Team Heretics and versus MKoi. Trayson versus Mirwin. What do you think of the top lane matchup?
I think in laning Trayson will probably win, but when it comes to mid game, I think MKoi will take the better of them.
Yeah. You think Mirwin recently has been under a bit of flack, hasn't been his best split?
I mean, he's just not a good laning player, so.
Okay, fair enough.
What do you think that he's missing? What do you think that he's missing? Is it like understanding the matchups, or is it, you know?
I mean, he's just flipping some matchups. If they go good, then he will win the lane, but it's mostly bad. So, I mean, if you are playing like a normal human, you will
yeah. Trayson's been a normal human right now. I think Trayson's had a pretty good split, right?
I mean, he's mostly playing Xante, so it's kind of easy to win the lane with a champion. You know? But I think he's playing all right, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see what he gets in this. As you said, 5 games at Cassante, and then the Scion, and then we've got Rumble, and Bessa. Whereas Mirwin on the other side, it's Rumble, it's Renekton, the Shen game, the Gwen game. Right now, it's a diverse more for Mirwin.
Yeah, I think the other person I'm looking at is Douglas, because obviously coming in to replace Sheo, I think is always going to be difficult. And Douglas has kind of been put in this spot kind of twice now. Like once with Vitality, where he had to replace Bo and kind of be that band-aid or that plaster to try and fix a lot of stuff. And now it feels like a very similar stuff for Heretics. But he did a great job with that Vitality squad, where he actually made it to like 2nd place in the season, ended up making playoffs several times.
That was your squad, Nuck-Nucko. You're on that roster, right?
Yeah, I am there, man. Yeah. We played the finals together and we lost.
But how'd you find playing with Douglas?
I mean, he's good at early game usually. I mean, it was mostly AP jungle meta, so it was full clear into fighting with support. You know, engage supports were meta, so it was kind of easy to play with him. Okay. But I don't know what he does in this meta. I didn't watch the other league, so.
That's okay, bro. You're a bit invested in this one. Karma first pick on the other side. Like we've got Ryze, Orianna bands, pretty standard stuff. I'm seeing an Azir get locked in as well.
Yeah, I hate this champion right now. I think Azir is just a bait pick.
Why? You think it's bad, do you?
I mean, the prio just matters a lot on bot lane and mid lane, and now MKoi can just take mid and bot prio with this 2-3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it has Azir has one of the lowest win rates of any mid laner globally at the moment. It's absolutely insane, and especially now you've got Pantheon locked in that can play hyper aggressive on this mid wave. You can take something like Yari if you want to pair with it, try and play for that push. And Caitlyn Karma into Jhin Bard is not going to be the easiest of times for the Heretics bot side.
Not a great lane, is it? Jhin to match, but that's bot out of the way. Let's talk top. It will bring you in for the magic. Top lane here, like Trayson's kind of set up just to pick a tank top again, or what?
They are both vegan, so one of them will pick Renekton or Rumble, the other one will pick the Xante. Like they are a bit vegan on the top side department.
Not as exciting as you. And what'd you play in game 2 again? You played Jace.
I played Jace. I played Queen and Jace today. I'm having some good time.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say you actually played 2 AD tops, so that's nice. Maybe we'll get something similar at least somewhere in this series, but for while you're with us, as you said, we're not vegan top laners, guys. Sorry about that at home. Akali disappears. What are we fishing for here, do you think, for Team Heretics?
I mean, I think Jojo will pick Annie or something for the mid lane department, and Mirwin will blind Renekton. And Tracy will play the Nar or the Xante or Sion, who knows.
Okay, so one of the tanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dagnan.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at least you've got some damage on the Azir there that can kind of supplement the Jhin, so you can still go with the Cassante. But I think the jungle bans make a lot of sense here. Like, try and get rid of the Xin Zhao, some early pressure. Vi could also be another one. Wukong also could be a little bit of a menace here, but still, like, I think it's just junglers that can enable team fights is kind of what you want to take away. Skarner fits that bill.
Okay, so You've already said it. You think it's like a Renegade Rumble trade-off, or Cassante maybe could just be an easy take here for Trayson. I mean, with Azir and Jin, you've got a bit of front to back, bit of range, right? So you need front lane engage, you need like a...
You need some tanky boy on both sides, kinda. I mean, they picked Mundo. This champ is kinda nerfed after the first clear, so the clear will be slow after the first base.
You never take this top anymore, do you?
No, not really.
Okay.
If they blind Sion, maybe, but that doesn't usually happen now.
Jojo could be looking at something that adds a bit of range itself.
Yeah, it would make it interesting because you've got the Bard as kind of your main source of engage there in Heretics, but
Yone's cool. Okay, all right. Yone's cool. Does this change the Renekton angle or what?
No, now he will play maybe Aurora top lane, can happen here, or he will just take the Sion, who knows.
Gwen as well?
Nah, Gwen is kind of hard to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rumble can just go Ignite and kind of play the laning card.
Think about the Ambessa, Singe was a bit of bait. Ambessa gets locked in. Thoughts about Ambessa for the, like, do you have enough setup here for Ambessa or it doesn't matter?
I mean, the matchup is kind of rough for Ambessa.
Yeah.
If Rumble plays good, I mean, he should have like 600 gold lead in this matchup.
Okay.
And it's kind of rough Ambessa game,
Ja,
so I just don't know why he
Wait,
didn't
koja je ovo?
it, so.
I was going to say, how would you try and play Ambessa in this sort of...
It's just unplayable.
Okay, great.
I would never pick Ambessa here.
Good.
Yeah, so it's not looking great for Heretics in game one. I kind of agree though.
Ambessa u Rumble Pantheona. Oni bi baš trebali budu stompani ovu seriju, zar ne? Kao generalno gledano.
I think it's going to be a rough one, whereas Heretics have very strong lanes that they can look to play through now.
Yeah, okay. So Heretics strong, I mean,
Heretici ako izgube, oni su ispali, to je to. 6 defeatova, nema šanse da idu dalje.
For Jojo in the mid lane, we can diverse that, but you also mentioned that like after the first clear for the Mundo, it's kind of rough, right?
Yeah.
Running into Pantheon. So I'm a bit concerned here about Heretics draft. What do you think?
I mean, I think they just lost the draft, and we will see how the gameplay goes, though.
Okay, well, let's hope, because Douglas is coming back in. Remember, he debuted at 17 years old in 2023. How old are you, Naka, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 21.
You had to think about that. So
yeah, I had to think about it. My birthday was soon.
Oh, yeah, okay. Is soon?
It happened already.
It happened what day?
24th of March.
Oh, banger. I'm 12th of April, but except I'm 10 years older. Good time. Douglas somewhere.
I don't want to talk about it, right? It's not...
Don't worry about his age. Welcome to Summoners Rift. Naka will join us for the first 10 minutes of this game. Observers, as always, I would ask that we look at top lane and kind of break down the dynamics of the matchup. I know it's not super exciting, like you playing Quinn into the last matchup, but still, regardless, like, you said this is a horror for the Ambessa, and I'm just assuming, what, cooldowns early, like...
Yeah, it was also better than Renekton and Cassante, so at least we might have something to talk about, you know?
I mean, Trayson should deploy on the first 3 waves. He will slow push, crash, he can...
Uvijek kad su igrači na desku, iskreno. Što pametno čuješ, a ne mene.
Flamethrower, every cooldown.
Can I also ask you, you're wearing Crocs for some reason, but they're miscolored. One's pink, one's black.
Yeah, and my jungle is wearing pink on the left and black on the right.
So it's synergy.
Yeah, it's the jungle top synergy for the team vitality department.
Who buys them in the house? Are you buying them yourself?
Pat bought me both of them. So.
Oh, it's a shame.
In this top lane matchup, though, you can kind of see the junglers have swapped both sides, right?
Yep.
You've got Pantheon clearing towards bot, whereas Mundo's coming top. Are you a little bit nervous on either side if you don't have jungler support in this sort of matchup, or are you happy to just kind of play it out in these early levels?
I mean, I think Douglas is kind of scared that he will get invaded after 3 camps, so he's pathing to top lane because MK should have bot prior in this matchup. And they have to play really safe on bot to not get dove, because Mundo is pathing away, and in top lane nothing will happen, I think, so...
Actually, cool insight. Si, meni giga drago kad su top laneri na desku, jer kao njih ja lično najviše naučim. Iako ne planiram da igram Rumble on besu skorije vreme, ali... Kao cool info kako oni gledaju na game.
I'm not playing first strike, I just go combat and try to win the lane.
Okay.
Rumble's been OP for like the past 6-12 patches.
Yeah, it's a broken champion.
It's been a long few years, man.
So, what is the problem? Is it laning's good? Teamfight setup's good, skirmishing's good. Like, what's
the champion has everything. Like,
what's Rumble's weakness?
Nothing. I don't. For weak side, he has the ultimate. For teamfight, he has the ultimate.
Yep.
For laning, he has the Q. On every 8 seconds.
You have wait clear for a free
max
reset.
HP damage as well, which is
just have everything. The only thing is that champ is AP. So.
Da, to je true. Jedini weakness je što je AP. I onda generalno hoće da ima Shadija negde drugde, zato i on pika na midu. Mislim da je nako iskreno. Nisam siguran, ali mislim da je onako.
Top side, mainly focusing here on Douglas, who is looking for the top side scuttle versus bot side for LEC. So slow early going so far.
What are some of the timers that you're looking for in this top lane that kind of break it either way? Is it like first reset for Rumble where you start to get a little bit more damage?
I mean, at first reset, if Rumble can buy tabbies, it's like really good for the Rumble. But if he can just have components, Ambessa is a bit chiller to play.
Yep.
But overall, after first phase, Rumble should have even more prio. And until Eclipse, Ambessa just suffers kinda. I mean, some people go Hexdrinker to make it easier, but it kinda delays your spike, so
you're kind of expecting coming out of lane, like, what's a good CS advantage for you? Like, you're walking out of this lane saying Rumble finds success, should be big.
And 10 CS2 plate is enough.
Okay.
And if you find yourself in the Ambessa side of this, like, how do you try and then force Mirren to back?
Fajn, onako je, da, on ima baš flip game ove što najče. On baš ima flip game ove. Na Jace je dobio batine jer su ga perma dive-ovali, nije on toliko kriv.
Which is what Tracing is doing kinda, and so far he's doing fine. And he missed the Canon, unlucky.
It's game over.
Okay, meanwhile on the bottom lane, Way's gonna get healed on. There's a tether up as well, that magical journey kind of sucked. But he does get out, Alvaro ain't able to poke him. I don't think he has a Mantra Q available, but looking for the range regardless. Ice on the run as well, slow gonna come through and...
Alvaro pressura. Lepo igra. Baš lepo igra. Ok, nisam ništa drugo ni očekivao realno gledano. Sve okej, sve okej.
And as Nak already said, like, you can set up for potential invades on Alyoya as this game starts to go on. So I think that's something that MKOI will definitely be looking at, especially with the
Ovaj monster je goated.
continuously has on the top side.
Ultra Golden Pineapple Zero Sugar, vidi. Kako vreme da bude živ. Što bi rekli Englesi. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
What do you think of MKOI this split? Because it's been super up and down. Like, Jojo's laning has been insane, but as we already talked about, you know, you said it yourself, Mirwin, his laning hasn't been too good. You also called him a vegan top laner for what it's worth. Elyoya's kind of been a bit flat. What have you thought overall about MKOI?
I mean, the top lane matchup was kind of over at min 2.
Ma ima milion vrsta, na šoko ima tih zero verzija. Kad sam baš gledao, imao sam breskva, mango, ananas, jagoda, ultra black i još tipa jednu ili dve vrste imam sad kuće. Imam oko 7 različitih zero verzija monstera sad, gajbi. Što je super, jer kao prije mi malo energije, a svakako kao i obično čuvam kalorije za kraj dana i onda ovako ranije gledam samo da pijem stvari.
Small lead, by the way, for Jojo. That mid lane matchup's going pretty well, but I guess Yone into Azir isn't that terrible, is it?
I mean, it should definitely be Azir winning in the early stages.
Should it? Okay, well.
I think Azir should be winning the early, then after Vamp Scepter, like Yone gets the prio and stuff.
Do you think Jojo's just the best mid lane in the league?
Super flash. O, probaj da ga prediktuje. Oj, super. Super, nemoj tako jako, ali ćeš da umreš sad ovdje jer si izgrifao. Da je flashovo instant, nakon Q-a bio bi fajn. Thorčak monster ka... Da. Danas sam pojeo ono... 400 kalorija sve ukupno. Ne, sad sam 520 sam pojeo danas. Ali sam zato prešao, da ću ti reći tačno, skoro 10.000 koraka i istrenirao sam u teretani. Sam već većinu energije potrošio koju sam trebao potrošiti. Pre teretane uzeo 2 pirinčane galete, med, malo soli. Posle treninga skir protein balance u mikrotalasnoj sa jagodama i nakon toga jednu bananu. To mi je ceo dan unos.
He'll be upset. But do you feel like you're the most innovative top laner in the league right now?
I mean, I'm just trying to find some counters to the best lanes in the game. Yeah. And hopefully I'm doing fine with it.
So you don't think you're overcooking it all? You think you just...
I'm not playing simple champs. Like Queen is known for beating Renegade for a long time.
You said simple champs, I respect that.
Da, popio sam kafu, privrkao ti monster sad, tako da... Pa dobro, da, ne... Mislim, to gledaš više na nekom nedeljnom nivou nego bilo šta drugo. Jer kao... Ja sam generalno oko 1000 u deficitu otprilike, na dnevnom nivou sad. To mi je otprilike merilo neko. Između 800 i 1000 sam u deficitu dnevno. Ja sam prvih 7 dana skinuo 3 kile. Većinom je, mislim, voda, očigledno. Ali da, prvo merenje 87. 87,5. I prvo merenje sa 87,5 na 84,5. Kažem, većinom voda. Sutra ujutro se merim, treba skinem opet kilo 2. I onda će možda tek za 7 dana ili za 14 da uspori. Moće kada bude na petije.
Yeah, I think this is looking a little bit disastrous for Heretic so far. Like, nothing has really happened. There's a 1.2k gold lead for MCOY. Like, I think that says a lot where the game has been going.
Is
it a problem with picking Mundo in this draft?
Kapiram, da. Sviđa mi se, to je super ideja. Bravo, Klaro, ti si najjača za pravljenje mrča ikada. Spek za Klaro, bravo.
As you leave, they'll start fighting.
Yeah, swapping, so he has to find some good trades on Rumble, and they will bait the Ambessa ulti here to kill the Ambessa probably.
And then Magical Journey as well, as you said, trying to bait it in. Way's just taken this, there's no way out as he flashes through the equalizer. It wasn't bad. Elyoya's ulti wasn't that great either.
Yeah, that was disaster from Elyoya.
Wasn't that good turn of play. They do stop the back on Trayson, so Super gets to stay in the lane while TP's going to be burned. For me, when this is Mega, right, he just gets an open lane.
Yeah, and I don't know what Ice did, but he was opening top.
Pravimo, planiramo merge za sljedeći mjesec. Sad svako ima giga, malo ljudi, mogu pričamo o čemu god. Ali hoćemo short sljedeći mjesec, zašto realno vrijeme toliko brzo se zagreva. Da realno, mislim da je već vrijeme da se shortsevi prave. Tako da shorts, majica i vjerovatno zipa po onaj hudi tanji. Jer tako je vrijeme sad, realno. Dotle neće doći. A i realno nemamo dakle mi, tako da ima i toga.
And their jungle is kinda useless on skirmishes because he has no setup for anything or CC.
Yep. So there's a lot of
it's not looking easy for them, as I said.
And again, as you said, MCOY you think are probably favorable in this draft.
Ma da, vrijeme je prslo skroz.
Thank you so much to Nucker for joining us. Again, I'm sorry.
Oh, good man.
Jutro sam izašao napolje, razmišljam sam da li u šorcu da izađemo, ono. Čovjek više ne zna, ono, nemam pojma što da obučem. Ali idem u šorcu i skafanderu. Jer baš je nerealno vrijeme.
Quinn first game. That's how I'll remember today as he leaves. I feel so bad for him because we brought him into a Rumble versus Ambessa top lane matchup. Now, if you have just been listening away to us ramble for a little bit, obviously MCOY, their early game, it's so easy at this point. As we saw in top, Team Heretics keep trying to throw balls out, but they keep getting blocked by everyone of MCOY.
I mean, MCOY just understand they're in such a strong position that they can just move around however they want to. So putting Soup into this top side means that they're able to get more plates in the top lane, whereas Rumble is fine to kind of just clear out the wave and boss, like ult the wave if needs be. So Ice never really gets an advantage. So even though the CS lead isn't that big, it's the plates that are nailing it for MCOY. And now, wherever you want to, you kind of just swap. Hang on, Ice.
Oh my god, yeah. He stood around the corner thinking he's okay. Deadly Flash dodged away by Mirwin, but he's at full HP.
Yeah, I was going to say Ice.
Equalizer. Ice stepped up to that. First blood at 12 minutes, but what is Ice doing?
I think he didn't expect the harpoon to
Bukvalno ne ovako, ali dobro.
I mean, great stuff for
Soul Killer Rumble, čovječe mi našade Kerija, to ne znam se dogoditi u života. Da, Heretici ako izgube gotovo je, oni su završili. Vitality se upravo plasirao u playoff. Heretici realno gledano neće ući u playoff, da se ne lažemo. Znači samo je pitanje ko će biti ekipa koja eliminiše Heretike. Oni neće ući u playoff. Oni moraju dobiju svaki game do kraja splita. što misli se neće dogoditi ono nikada. Mislim nikada. Ne znam šta im je ostalo još, ali sad ću da im... Imaju još Fanatic, Shifterse, 1-5, 2, Fanatic, Shifterse, 4-5, da. Još Fanatic i Shifterse. Pa dobro, mislim, nije im nemogu. Nije im nemoguće, u teoriji im nije nemoguće. A ovo im je vjerovatno najteži protivnik, tako da nemam pojma. Fanatic se raspada, Shiftersi se raspadaju, tako da... Maybe.
Yoyo will be spotted moving bot here again, but I don't think Heretics want to fight.
Up and available, Yoyo's going to pop the trigger. Douglas is here to help out, but that Starfall flies across onto Ice again. He heals out, cleanses out, Tempered Fate. He's going to grab onto two. Yoyo blocks it out.
Dobar ult.
Doesn't connect onto Yoyo. 3 versus 3 will continue with health bars blinking a little bit. But Dragon now up, and the attention will stay bot.
It did feel like a weird overforce from MKOI, though, in the 3v3. Like, sure, you have more damage, but you're just kind of committing into the face of Heretics and not really getting much for it. At least the Bard ultimate is down, which makes any sort of play a little bit easier. But you're also lacking in engage tools for MKOI. Like, it's either the ultimate from Jojo or Alyoya kind of looking for that flash engage or the ultimate engage. So that being down makes it a little bit more difficult for MKOI to really find the fight they're hoping.
Still, they'll search for it. Alyoya getting into position.
Tresim baš dobija batine. Još je otišao na Hex, još ga i dalje šutira Rumble. To je baš daleko od optimalnog. Je otišao na Eclipse Rush, pa da razumem zašto ga oko čanka s Magic Damage-om, ali...
Yeah, now the Eclipse has been picked up, which is where Naknako was saying this matchup gets a little bit easier. But with the acceleration that this top laner's had, I think it gets a little tough. Heretics, though, understand that they can move into position.
Ali imam 75 slika za stream, stavit ću mjesto.
They lose turret for a top dagger. I mean, that's a 1.7k gold lead Rumble. Mewin, him and Gordon Ramsay are going to be cooking this game.
Yeah, I think this is where the fact that you have such strong lanes is going to end up playing a major factor for MKOI. Like, if Miran wasn't nearly 2k gold up, I think you'd be able to punish with the Eclipse pickup from Trace a little bit easier. But you're not really in a position to do that now. So MKOI have winning top. Jojo is in a fantastic position with the winning mid as well. And now Super Navarro get to continue punishing in their matchup. So even though you've lost a couple of dragons, if you can just take turrets, you shrink the map for Heretics and makes it very difficult for them to contest the rest. MKOI also now in position with both their strong top laner and their fed bot lane to now play for this top side Rift Herald, and Heretics can't really contest.
It does just feel like, again, those dragons, while it slow the game down, gives Heretics some leverage. Aren't going to be important in the grand scheme of things. Herald goes down, as you said, that might open up mid lane.
Verovatno će permanentno se zatvore te dve knjižare koje ti trebaju kako ti.
Goes for a little adventure.
Scam.
Herald we talked about. Mewin on a flank, his equalizer. Lines down, escape from Ice becomes harder. Tempered Fate stops the Herald charge. It's nice from Way. And good for Heretics, all things considered. As Deadly Flourish finds Alyoya. A briefcase gets sent out. And the Herald not opening up mid. It's a breath of fresh air, but Super's just been ordering it the whole time. And as I say that, the 80 carry from MKOI will still claim the goal.
Yeah, and this is the thing. While Wade did stop the charge, there is now no real setup to actually engage onto MKOI as a duo in the mid lane. So Super gets to keep playing. Super steps up. You can see here, like, he knows that he's fine. Like, as long as you step away from the Deadly Flourish, there is nothing Heretics can do.
As you say, never seen a Caitlyn that confident in front of 3. Seren, is he caught out is the next question for you all.
Dobar damage na Ionu, iskreno. Mislim, Heretici bukvalno igraju za drag život, ali fora je što je 17 minuta, oni gube 4000 golda. Imaju 2 Drake-a, okej, ali... Nemam pojma, top i AD carry, baš preveliki diff trenutno.
This time though, spotted I think Douglas was as he came into this bot push, so Jojo aware that there's more than one of Heretics in this bot lane. And maybe MKOI want to play with that information.
Yoya is trying to stack up. He also has that ulti available. Jojo's going to hover outside the brush. Control ward spotted. And he'll help clear that out. As Seren's getting a lot of attention from Team Heretics right now, but MKOI are trying to wrap around. They'll be spotted on a ward, but deep in the blue buff. looking for a contest and to make Douglas a little bit more uncomfortable with his re-debut to the LP.
I mean, it's just with the control that they have over mid, it becomes significantly easier. They push in mid, they've shifted Mirren down to try and cover on this mid wave as well, and now they just get to play with a numbers advantage in the jungle, and Heretics can't control both spaces at once. They can't protect blue and also defend that bot lane.
Seren just got chunked out and he's got low mana, so he can only Empress
U teoriji koji možda ima 4 infernala ovaj game, što je baš bilo na cijeli. Lep ult. Azir mrtav. Tracy ne znam što radi, ali Rumble utiče ga split, on se flasha, nešto se flasha za njega. Nice, to je još jedan kill. Ne igraju, legitimno ne igraju.
And MKOI are taking over this game slowly but surely.
Jojo was slick with that. He just saw Seren and said, "Yep, that's
Ne vjerujem će biti valova, ne. Gle, generalno nedelja mi je obično day off. Nedelju obično ne streamujem. Gledam film s Patreonima. Aj, bukvalno mrzim Patreon. To je ono, Patreon, WTF, mrzim Valorant, mrzim Patreon. Nedelja je Patreon Movie Night. Sad zavisi šta ćemo gledati, jer smo gledali, mislim, National Treasure da je plan, što znači da nema drugi... Nećemo gledati Smile 1 i 2. Mi se to duše gleda, to bi gledali sljedeće nedelje. Ili možda ove gledamo posle National Treasure-a. Ako budem gledao film, onda neće biti streama uopšte. Ako budemo drugi film gledali. Ako budemo gledali samo jedan, možda bude stream pirata. Možda bude off-stream pirati. Nisam siguran, vidjet ćemo. Ako budu off-stream pirati, onda radimo questove dok ne dođemo do... Samo da rešimo bossa. Ako bude streama, na streamu rešavamo bossa. Što ću na streamu da rešim bossa, mislim da je to samo fun. Ovo ostalo možemo i off-stream, ove... side questove.
For spring. Now Baron has just spawned. That's a way to end the game, but Dragon number 3 for Team Heretics, that would keep the game going.
Mislim da je to okej.
Mirren having bot push is probably going to say no to Team Heretics.
Tako da vidjet ćemo.
Getting anywhere near that Dragon for now.
Vidjet ćemo kako će biti sa filmovima. Si mušice, što ima šta se radi, kako si? Ja mislim da je ovo samo free win za koji, inače bukvalno... Što se radi, mušice? Ko mi Heretici ove game jako podsjećaju na Rogue. Gledam ekipu i u fazonu sam realno gledano ne radi ništa. Kao, čini mi se kao da bukvalno igraju Rogue stil da čekaju da izgube. Ok, uzeo si 2 Drakea što je produžilo trajanje partije. Moguće da samo full veruješ u svoj skill što nije ni... ono... nerealno. Ali previše mape daju. Iskreno. Čisto kako sam ja sam lagan iskreno konačno u LEC-u da vidimo neke humane pikove. Znaš da je Queen bila pikana? Queen bila pikana prvi game danas. Vidali jungle, Queen top, Elise support. Počeli su u LEC-u stvari da da uzimaju normalno ono... normalne pikove. Bio sam posle borio pitan sat, ma trebao si, pa do ne, vidi. Radiš 10 minuta od nas, bukvalno kad se god budeš setio, samo javi se. Uvijek ćemo se organizovati da budemo tu. Danas isto se zezamo sa merchom, dizajniramo za sljedeći mesec, jer sad imam malo ljudi pa mogu da časkam, ali hoćemo shortseve da krenemo da radimo. Jer kao realno sad je već vreme, ono, bukvalno dok krene sljedeći mesec, dok se uradi merch, bit će vreme za shorts. I onda rekao, ajde na vreme da se bacimo i na to, da probamo malo bolje da tajmiramo merch. Da vredno radimo na tome, svi kolektivno, Sim najviše ja, ali kao ne, Klara se to nešto. Tako da, tako da s tim se malo danas zezamo.
instead. But Team Heretics can't step nearby. Public Execution now threatened with a lot of backs from Heretics, but Jojo's still able to step up. Looking to get some damage down. He backs away. Turret close to dying, but that's a breeze away from falling.
But this is again the problem with the Heretics composition. Like, how do you try and make picks happen?
Yeah.
How do you try and like find moments to take fights if Heretics are overextended? You heavily rely on this Bard ultimate to hit.
Da Serin možda ubija Mirvina ovde. Mislim, ne ovde nužno, ali kao mislim da bi Azer trebao da bude jači od Rumble, zar ne? Jer ove ga ubija pre nego što moj priđe. Da. Da. Šurio ga. Nema je Mara u Azira u ovom delu partije, ne može ništa da uradi.
Honestly, I thought Mirwin was just going to turn and take the fight. I think he might have had a decent chance of taking at least one of them down in the 2v1. But still, Saren gets a kill, they get something, they lose the bot lane tier 2 for it though. So I think MKOI still getting map pressure. It's some small win for Saren.
It's got to be. I mean, at this point, you're going to take whatever you can. Saren's close. I was going to say he's close to getting a third item. I mean, depends on this back, right? But still, regardless, getting solo turret is nice. It was 6,000, now it's 5.
But it's Jojo who's actually very close to getting a third item. Infinity Edge just around the corner. Like 1.6k was the lead there just momentarily. So I think this is where, again, for Heretics, you have to hope that both Saren and Douglas can kind of get to a late game point where maybe they can carry. We already heard from Naknaka, like late game Caitlyn, late game Yone. These are not things to sniff at. And I think they're going to be happy to continue taking fights as they're stepping up as 2.
From Super, he's got a last whisper. So now Douglas is
Ok, Super Flash. Znalo će biti dovoljno za bilo šta, ali ajde. Samo čekaju. Najbolji jungle reaction, ja mislim da je Rileđ. Možda ne popularno mišljenje, ali mnogo me oduševio Rileđ kako igra. Iskreno, baš me oduševio Rileđ.
And I do think you can kind of see like MKOI, because they have this lead, are skipping steps a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's just that they don't have the tools that really help them. Jojo gets to clear the way from Tribrush and then start to make his way back. But you always have to over-index with your team members here to try and make that play happen, which then gives more time to MKOI to clear out their own waves as well. And at least for Heretics, with the lack of dragons, you can kind of go for cross maps pretty consistently. But it's actually funny to see MKOI are trying to shut that down. Like, they're clearing out their own jungle. Jojo was the one that took his own blue buff there. You've still got Alvaro starting to shift across to cover.
Ja sam podigao server, možete da uđete na server pa da me stižete. One tutorial questove to izrešavate i sve ostalo što je ostalo i gear iskraftate slobodno, tako da. Gotovo sad mislim da samo Hori i Karović na serveru i ja, što znači za 3 čoveka pa je manji skill, pa je sve lakše ubiti isto. Tako da i to je isto opcija. Mogu proverim ko je još na serveru. Mislim da... Lazić, Karović i kapiram Hori su sad na serveru. Da.
It's basically what Heretics are trying to play for here is, okay, let's just try and put all of our eggs into the Saren basket and hope that he can carry.
Podržim ja server up svakako. Pa slobodno rešavajte questove, polako stište.
It's just kind of hope and pray. Maybe one team fight goes awry and you can pick up like all the bounties that are there, but here we go.
Public execution is great. Jojo's taking damage, and here's Saren to reciprocate as well. The fate sealed out, but Saren's matched it as well. The soldier's out, flashes, looking for the ulti, but he's just going to auto as Jojo gets out. Saren does not pull the trigger, and his flash is down. Jojo gets away, and that pick looked like it was an opportunity.
I think Saren needed to...
Mislim, bolje lol. Shit je što je samo 5 kilova u 26 minuta, ali kao pikovi sami su mnogo zanimljivi. Mnogo interesantnije vidjeti na padanju.
Breath of that ultimate to bypass everyone on Heretics, it's very hard to follow up from Sarah.
Važi na Ganu.
Opportunities that Team Heretics are finding, maybe access to that bot lane turret could have come through as well. Possibilities endless, and Jojo getting away there. Complete murder, or lack thereof, for MKOI. Still buying time. Game slowed down a lot here in our 5-kill game. But Heretics now grouping up. Way's now joined in. He's got his Temper Fate available once again, looking for a target while Jojo is pushing down the bot lane, but that equalizer was nasty. Oh, Ice stepped on the hot coals and his feet are burned. Mewin gets the first kill. Ice is out of the fight. Trayson in the middle of an...
Vidi Kevine, ja se slažem. Od svih tih filmova meni se Zvanja isto najviše gleda. Jer kao, izašao je pre 2 dana. Tako da nemam, mislim, izašao je na Netflixu pre 2 dana, izašao odavno, očigledno. Šta znam. Daj da virnemo neki noviji horor, da imamo na šta liči. Da vidimo na šta liči.
Inhibitor turret going to drop, but nothing more. Baron going to be the next turn for MKOI, and man, one fell swoop just as Team Heretics looked like it was slowing down the game.
10.000 gold. Izda Heretici polako se opraštaju dog splita, iskreno.
We're in such a strong position. Let's just close this one out. Nearly 10k, and you kind of felt that coming into this. Great ultimate from Mirwin, the flash forward. Ice gets obliterated in this one, and it's the immediate follow-up then from the rest of MKOI, as there's already blood in the water, and they are just absolute piranhas, nipping at the heels.
Neka fala. Mračno je u podrumu, tamo strašno zna biti ponekad, ti si naviku, ali...
When I say that, I mean, it was always there. It just felt like we're now in a more definite position. And yeah, it looks super difficult, maybe impossible for Team Heretics to find their way back in.
I always wonder in games like this, if as MKOI you get annoyed you didn't draft more engaged, you can just end the game.
Dobro, zamalo da likujem ceo Patreon merch, sve je okej.
Now, that's not really a casual banana, but that is pretty close.
A ne koristim komp.
Elyoya caught out, maybe a pick here for Team Heretics. Fans getting excited in the audience, but they're going to do damage first. Empress Divide did nothing. Seren was scared. Deadly Flourish keeps the play in place. Super steps up to get the turret, but he takes half his HP.
Zamalo, close. Close sve lagano, ništa se ne brinite. Inako gledamo koji win waiting room.
Heretics have a moment of respite, but they're going to go back to their base as MKOI look for the next wave to channel in.
So MKOI, I think, just get to play it slow. They have not tried to play it slow, but they can't just take this in their face.
Equalizer, it's great. Ice again in the wrong space. Public execution is buffered. Elyoya gets a chance, but then he puts up the shield. In the middle of it, he gets the trade before he dies himself. A 1-for-1, but Heretics still have to go back to base again. Inhibitor's going to drop down and...
I još imaju Drake-a, mogu se vrate po Drake ako hoće, ali triple inhi možda mogu da gledaju end. Ako uzmu inhi na botu.
Heretics can't really play the game at this stage. Way is, you know, showing them the door, but maybe slammed on his fingers.
Okej, Jojo, ništa, šalio se. JK.
Thanks to Alvaro as Dragons up. MKOI are taking extra steps. They just don't want this game to end.
I think it's just that they can't bloody engage. They can't catch anyone. Elyoya had to send himself twice now to his death to make anything happen. Like, he is trying desperately. Like, you can see here, it's like, oh, Ice is really low. I've got to go underneath the tier 3 turret into 4 members of Heretics to try and get us...
Što je najgore, ubio ga je. Što je najgore, ovo je radilo. Overcommittovo je životno za to i nije izintovo play. Tako je, Dagda.
As Baron is about to teeter off, I think it gets a little bit more difficult for MKOI, but it's no way Heretics.
Scale je isto faktor, ali činjenica je da ko ima 3 infernala, što također dodatno povećava njihov scale.
Shielding like a front line, he's just shielding everyone. Like he's kind of whatever. Just stay away from my carries. There's Jojo's engaged. Wade dies in an instant, and that's a good fate sealed. Okay.
Jojo flashed after he got out.
He was scared of the Jhin, I guess. I'm not sure.
I think it was the wolf, personally.
It was the wolf. Yeah, full HP.
It is a big wolf.
He was scared. There's the engage again. Now they're all down for MKOI, but I think they've found enough to finally end this game. They will not get the lowest kill game of the split.
A nije ni blizu. Mislim da jedna ekipa pretenduje da ono bude top 4 u Evropi, druga ekipa je 1-6. Mislim da bilo što osim 2-0 u ovoj seriji samo nema smisla, najiskrenije.
A dominant game from start to finish puts faith in the Spanish fans. And this one,
Sad već trole za KD.
for the Heretics fans, but at least it's a best of 3, Dagda.
Yeah. At least they got the GA.
Teška priča. Iskreno, unlucky, bit će razočaran oba Heretikova fana, ali ja mislim da koji sam ovdje dobija, nema ovdje šta traži. Svakako, 10 minuta pauze. I onda se vraćamo nazad, malo iskuliramo dve trake. I vidimo se relativno brzo. Imamo intervju Jack Spectra.
Jack, you're my break. That's how fulfilling you are as an analyst.
Jack, break it down. Break it down.
You're my hero, Jack.
Thank you very much, my fellow casters. My name is Jack Spectra. I used to be a bit of a pro player. And today, we're going to be talking all about tempo. So, what is tempo? Tempo is essentially just time. So, we see here that MKOI's bot lane has decided to open top lane and sacrificing the minions for it. What this means, however, is that they are quite far ahead. Caitlyn can impact this top play way before Jhin ever can, right? So what that means is that they are able to open towards top lane, and Wei is thinking enemy bot lane is probably just going to open bot, so they're about to show on bot. So I'm going to do a little top gank and try to get Trace in ahead. He does not expect Supa and Alvaro to open top here, so that means that Wei now immediately loses his flash, has to back off, and we even got Olioya Pantheon ulting in, goes a little bit crazy. But the important part is now. Team Heretics really wants to match this Caitlyn and Karma, right? Because they don't want Caitlyn Karma to just be able to hit plates and just have a good time. So you can see that Ice is opening up towards top lane here, and Tracin is looking to base. But something goes awry in the comms of Team Heretics, because Ice actually decides to go back to bot, going a really, really long way. You'll see him on the minimap here, running all the way back to bot, taking a really, 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 really long time, and losing a lot of minions, and Tracin just stays on top, and then Team Heretics go for kind of this desperation play, I'd say, where they try to get onto Supa with the Bard ultimate, but doesn't quite land with some good movement from him, and some even better movement on the public execution as well. But now it's a really tough position for Team Heretics, because they used all their tools, they used their ultimates, they weren't able to shut down this Caitlyn and Karma, so now Caitlyn and Karma can just continue laning, in which we normally wouldn't see a bot lane choose to do this due to the role quests, but Caitlyn can just have a jolly old good time, continue hitting the plates, continue forcing Tracin in, while Alvaro can roam the map, and Mirwin is completely fine on bot. So MKOI, using the tempo lead that they generated by dropping a wave on bot, now got to get 2 top plates. They got Tracin to lose a lot of minions, and they put Team Heretics in a reactive position the whole time off of Team Heretics' mistake. And then the cherry on top is the fact that Ice wants to go for a bit of a greedy recall. It gets chunked by Mirwin, and even wastes his flash and dies as the kill unfolds on screen. So pretty tough game here from Team Heretics, but a really nice masterclass from MKOI to showcase how you can utilize the tempo, utilize the lane swaps to generate huge leads, which eventually just let them completely snowball the game and just take over from that point. I also really like their draft and how it's set up to continue their snowball. What do you think?
You liked a lot of things, eh?
I liked a lot of things. I mean, MKOI they kind of stomped them. I mean,
they that was expected though, and as you said, Heretics were in a pretty tough spot, and as a man once said, let's just pick whatever and let us lose in peace. And I do appreciate the fact that in 2026 we're still giving a meaning to that sentence, guys.
Yeah.
No prior, no nothing, just like
I kind of loved the Nako analysis at the very start of the series, where he was just kind of like, I have no idea why he would pick Ambessa into this rumble. And then like, the Mundo, yeah, they need a tank, but now they have no winning lanes anyway. And so I felt like it was a kind of tutorial game for MKOI, where, I mean, while there's been some debate around the strength of this team, the thing that you shouldn't really question is, number one, Jojo's going to school you. Like, he's been having a fantastic, an unbelievable split overall. And when you give this team the tools to win, generally they win. So yeah, I'm really quite disappointed with what we saw from Heretics. Obviously, they're in a bit of a tough spot, bringing in a sub just like this, kind of out of the blue in a sense, especially with so much on the line for them. But I was hoping for a little bit more. I was hoping for at least, yes, instead they...
Come on, do something.
Exactly, yes.
It's that meme. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially when you know that you're facing off against the stronger teams. You gotta surprise them. You gotta hit them where they're not gonna expect it, especially coming from a surprising team themselves, because this is what MKOI was known for. So,
yeah, I
what do we have?
It starts with the draft. I think the fact that MKOI had such hard winning lanes just means that Team Heretics are always on the receiving foot And you saw that even when Team Heretics are the one that are reactive, they don't even react well, right? Like Ice opens up or up towards top and then goes all the way back to bot, and he loses quite a few waves there and then ends up dying. And I think there's just, if you're going to win as Team Heretics, you need to surprise them, as you guys said. And the way that you do that is by either picking champions that MKOI aren't going to expect, or picking just hard-winning matchups where you can have high volatility, and that can be the surprise, that you know the matchup a little bit better, you're willing to click forward when they don't expect it. But I don't think you can do that in mid lane, because Jojo is always going to be clicking forward, and he's just kind of the best mid laner in the league, so it's going to be top or bot for me.
I just felt like that maybe they should just give Douglas a little bit more agency. If you're going to bring in this player in, someone that MKOI won't have scouted as much, maybe a little bit less experience against, put him in a position to play his game and try and play around him, whereas I felt like Heretics kind of stuck to the formula that they know and hoped that he would slot in, and they ended up with a weird draft where they had no tools. And while all of this was happening, I did feel like Jojo was just Jojoing. He was Jojoing everywhere. Like, the man was having such an amazing game. Like, on the Yone, I think I looked at it was 23 minutes, 30 seconds, and he had 291 CS. Like, his playmaking in this game was spectacular. His silent pressure was good. And we were talking about the matchup earlier, Law. In the early laning phase, it can be rough for the Yone, but in Jojo's hands, he just sits there and goes, like, when I'm in a weak losing matchups, I think I should fight. But his logic is also, when I'm in a mid, fairly even matchup, I think I should fight. And then also, when I'm in a winning matchup, I think I should fight. And I mean, it pays off for him beautifully just because of the leads that he's always able to build for himself. And this is a champ we haven't seen him on a while, but you can see that he's still got the hands to pile the Yone.
And I think what I find fascinating about Jojo is, I completely agree with you, Vetty, that he always kept playing forward no matter what. But before, it kind of felt like it was a boon at times, you know? He was going a bit too crazy. But now, when was the last time we had a bad Jojo game? He is always winning lane. He's so consistent for this team, even in an MKOI that's the most struggling iteration we've seen.
Even if he falls behind, he finds ways to impact the game later on.
It's absolutely phenomenal how he's playing, and I feel like it's kind of a similar to the Giant X situation. It's like the rest of the lineup is playing so well that I feel like if Jojo now, or if the rest of, sorry, I lost myself a bit. The rest of MKOI can now level up with Jojo, then I think we actually have an MKOI that's better than what we saw before, because Jojo always, for me, he felt like he was great, but he was pretty inconsistent.
And we wanted to see a dominant performance here from MKOI, especially against Heretics, and that's what they gave us so far. Let's see what happens in game 2.
Sends himself up, there's Jojo again, fake shield, right into Seren. He gets clapped down as the first victim of the fight as Trayson equalised it on, flashed away, but he's ticking, he's burning, he gets hit by El Yoya from a spear from downtown.
Yes, pressure, we can pressure. I'm gonna flash W, okay? In one. Look on the yawn, Jojo. Yeah. Wait, if he gets closer, okay? One keywords. That's one attack. If he doesn't walk up, we're gonna end on next mid. I have it. Give me Q3. I walk up, yeah? I walk up. Eyes on the others.
What's wrong with me today? I think you should have a break.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
I love it, baby, 'cause I'm a crushing.
Whoops.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Wait, is he switching lanes?
bit of a walloping in game one. That's what Heretics got given, and MKOI, every single lane, was winning. What do you do when Jojo's winning a matchup that we said probably shouldn't? That top went exactly how Mirwin picked for, and that bot lane was just Super and Alvaro chilling the whole game, and Ice kind of got camped and covered by Elyoya. So, I don't know, Dag, that was a hard game to watch, and I think Heretics now was second pick. Might be able to do something on this red side.
Well, the good news is they can't pick those champions again. So maybe things get a little bit easier, you know?
True. That's... You're not
that's my silver lining. That's what I got.
Maybe a bit of engage this time. I mean, obviously there was the Bard, and they had the Azir, you know, with Ambessa, but it was like the pieces didn't line up.
Yeah. But Heretics are going second pick, which means to me there's... Oh, I was about to say, they could probably get the Ashe Seraphine. But now if you take the Lulu, and you go Lulu Yunara, I think you're still fine as MKOI.
Yeah. Or what if... if MKOI just go Yunara themselves here, or they just go to Lulu, as you said. Would Team Heretics pick something like a Blitzcrank? I don't know. They're mucking around with a pick for now.
I think it would just be like, you take Lulu, you get Corki, Nami on the opposite side, then you go for the Xin Zhao and the Yunara, and then I think you got a fairly nice semi-Ionia theme to draft there, at least you're playing TFT. But Jarvan, actually going to be the pick, so looking more towards the engage.
Shout out to our production team for noticing that. Garen Amumu Pike spells gap. Oh my god. Oh my god. W production. See, for me, I'm just like, I always think, you know, people have partners and stuff, and people have like people they shout out to. But that was just harsh. And to be fair, game one, it was a bit of a gap, so.
Just a smidge. Although I will say I kind of like already the way the Heretics draft is going. Like the early Yunara pickup here, you can take the Lulu now if you want to. It means that then you still have the ability to get out of the Cataclysm. And they're just going to go straight for the Xin Zhao though. And this is kind of what I was thinking that MKOI would try and take. Because I think Yunara, especially when you get to a game 2 like this, I think Yunara, Lulu, Xin Zhao, very strong trio to play through.
It is. But what do MKOI have up their sleeves? So now I saw a Zyra, a Mumu, ZA.
It's going to be Zap.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, and then the next one will be Map.
Okay, yeah.
And then we go Lap.
Siva is coming up. Well, that's locked in, so that doesn't count. Because
gas. It'll be gas though.
I was thinking if there's another champion with S stacked, we're gonna have to ground them for a bit. Lulu is taken away from the Yunara combo, so pretty standard from MKOI. That's a lock-in of Seren's and Nivea. Actually, it could be a flex.
Ajmo da vidimo. Top Nivea smo vidjeli, ali nećemo da vidimo. To samo Wunder zna. Samo Wunder može, ja mu verujem.
It's a really odd build though, because you still build like Rod of Ages and Seraphs, but you just play it from the support role, so you kind of deal a ton of damage with it anyway as well.
Yeah, we haven't had it in LEC just yet, but I've seen it over in the LCK a few times.
Yeah, you put 3 points into your E, and then you max your wall, so you get the really big wall. And yeah, it's kind of disgusting. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of damage.
Plus a big wall.
And especially against something like a low-range comp like Sivir, kind of works out relatively well.
Yeah.
Because she does not like the fact that you can just wall her off from the rest of her escape routes.
Get Glacial Storm as well, and you're gonna have to just spell shield that E. But
well, the thing is, she puts the ult on the ground, and then it's like, oh, well, there goes my spell shield.
That's right. It's like, do I spell shield now? Or you are right, actually. It's going to use it for the ulti. Galio's gone. LeBlanc's gone. So maybe options safeguarding that it is going to be an Anivia mid.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
If they get a raw
because basically Anivia doesn't like to play against things that have range, and like Hui is still there.
Yep.
Things like that could still be functional in it. But you can also see MKOI are not convinced that this is a mid lane Anivia, because they're still banning away the Aurora. Although that could be, again, a flex against potential Aurora tops. And with the Nara as well, maybe that's what they're looking at. But I'm not sure what MKOI would want to go for, because I traditionally think of Aurora into things like, you know, Ambessa or Rumble, but that's not what we have here. So, and with the Akali hover, I think maybe this is, like, it's definitely a Anivia top or support, but I wonder where.
Could also be a Kali top. So,
yeah,
look,
I'm really hoping for Anivia support.
I mean, I am too. Again, we haven't seen in the LEC.
Anivia u Sivir je decent.
With a 3-5 record. Most bought is Rod of Ages, by the way, as support.
Yeah,
I love it. Like,
what I've seen a lot is still Rod of Ages and Seraphs.
Yep.
And then you kind of go into like Shrelia's Reverie or these kind of more support-ish items.
Yeah, I've seen Vandal Pipes, Locket.
Yeah, Vandal Pipes as well, because you get easy proc from us, yeah. I tried a little bit on my own. I played Rod of Ages with Protobelt, and it was kind of nasty because you can Protobelt forward to get the wall, which then makes it really difficult for people like Sivir, because you're kind of like, oh, I'm playing out of range of Anivia, and then she just jumps forward into you.
Oh, it sounds like fun tech. Here we go. Twisted Fate gets locked in, so scaling bot lane.
TF dobro u Kali. Vidiš je u Shroudu kad ultaš, tako da je s te strane kao relativno okej.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I want to play Kali into any of these things. Like, into the mid lane, TF can pop. Well, actually, it's decent into the Twisted Phase. It just means that later on it can be a little bit annoying because TF can pop the ultimate to spot you.
What if you run TF top instead, Dagda?
No, I think it like... I mean, I'm excited to see Anivia support.
Yeah.
Like,
first one.
And then I think you've still got like Jax can get a lot of value here against the Renekton late game and against the Twisted Fate late game. So Trayson has a good opportunity to be a menace on side lanes. But I'm curious, like, there's Anivia value for things like a TF that's running away, or the Sivir as well can be really good for Heretics. So there is angles here where Heretics can make things work.
It's a more ambitious draft as well. The Jax final lock-in versus Renekton. I mean, I don't mind that as Trayson. And as you said, the Anivia value might just pop off. So let's see if those solo lanes from Movistar...
Da, Heretici baš moraju da pop-offuju ovdje, iskreno.
A lot of sending power with Akali with Jax as well, isn't there? So skirmishing. More options this game. I mean, to me, it's exciting because in game one, Heretics didn't have much engage options. They didn't have the ability to kind of weave out skirmishes. This time, I feel like it's a very different draft. It's like complete opposite.
I mean, it is still somewhat conditional. Like, you've got the wall from Way, and you've got Trace and Counter-Strike or Dagger.
Znači imamo TF-a, imamo Aniviju, da kažeš od fan pikova. Anivija support, u Sivi radi, u Lulu radi. Volio bi da gledam lično malo više botlane kako će da laneuje Vay.
First Anivia support of the LEC. Now, again, we were talking about the build before, but it's Lahen's, it's Career over in the LECK that have been pulling it out. I should say Andal, but he's 0-3 on it. However...
Yeah, you can do a lot of work with this in the early stages.
Da bar kliknu, ne vidim što uzeo na Lulu 1. Uzeo Kuv, najverovatnije. Onda i basic je fine. Da prokaš electrocute.
There's two parts of damage in the queue with the Nivea. There's the pass-through, so when you initially send through the queue, that does damage. And when you proc the explosion after it passes through, that does another proc. So if you can get both procs of the Q, which gives a stun, and then you get the E, that's the immediate electrocute. And obviously then there's an auto attack you can toss in if you miss some of that. She is very good against short range carries like Sivir because her wall is super effective, and especially as she starts to get towards level 6, it's very strong. The only thing is, as you said,
kako može igra u Dishil, bit će malo teško, ali...
is the go-to in a lot of situations, and then you start to see some deviations. Some still build like Seraphs, some build into Protobelt, others will go straight into like Shirelias or even like third item Bandle Pipes, as you were talking about already. Like, there's a lot of variability in the build.
By the way,
ne znam da uzme E ili W.
Support in EU ever. We've never in the history
I'm not surprised. Nivea is not up there in play rates until this year. Well, I suppose the last 6 months.
I mean, that is crazy, yeah. So, Way is the first ever.
Prva ikada Anivia support. Će biti Agon još malo.
Feels kind of nice because Yunara can just use that stun and then pop off with some good trades.
It's also the W slow from Yunara sets you up, but here we go, trades.
He did jump in onto this. He's looking for an angle. 3 Talon Strikes going to get the knock up. Douglas in a good spot. Elgo has to flash out.
Vay ima Eg, on je fine. Ovo je savršeno za Vaya. Ovo je savršeno za Heretike u stvari.
A second short to come as Elgo's got no escape, but Douglas now has run out of juice. Audacious charge. There's the Anivia.
Nema, će ostane da umre od supe. Malo laki za njih što je Supa uspio da traduje kill nazad, ali nije ovo loše uopšte. Elioa je samo, ne znam šta je izmislio. On je u glavi zacrto peti, on je u fazonu ja tu idem šta god se dogodi. Što baš nije najoptimalniji razvoj događaja, iskreno.
The NVMe pick already paying dividends. I mean, Wave's going to be closer to, you know, if it's going to be that Rod of Ages, as Super's just trying to get the wave out. It's a big wave at that as well. Team Heretics can use this time to back away, but man, let's look again because we just sent Hail Mary over this blue buff.
Yeah, great ward from Heretics to spot out that Oyoye had gone for the invade. So immediately Douglas goes for the fight, knowing Zin's out stronger in the level 3. And even though you have the
Ne znam šta je Lioju nateralo da uradi ovakav invade, iskreno. Pogotovo da startuje taj blue buff na taj način, jako čudno, iskreno.
But it's here where you get the kill. I think if Douglas is starting to walk away, I think you are fine with just a couple of extra auto attacks and giving Super the extra damage that he needs. But still, either way, good response from Douglas and a nice early lead. Almost there for Heretics, but it's certainly on that bottom side.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's going to be towards that bird and double health crystal. You know where he's going next. But triple longsword from Douglas. And some good early damage as well. 5-point strike from Sarah and getting close. Shuriken flip just misses though. Oyoye was in the area, even though he's level 3. Jarvan would have helped out a lot as we come back to bot. There's the wall. And Super just walks on up, gets a boomerang blade into Ice's face, but he's getting some pretty good trades down here, is he, Nivea?
Yeah, I think this is actually going to be a little bit tough for MKOI as Douglas starts to clear back down towards this bottom side, because as you can already see, that wall is very easy to capture Super with, and I think that's where you're going to see if you can get the gank with Douglas, suddenly you're able to set up very effectively. As Super doesn't have flash and can't escape very well, so this pushing lane does have to be a little bit more cautious, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Alvaro trying to see if he can sneak his way into the enemy jungle and get some vision there. But actually, he's already swapped to the sweeper, so going to be reliant on Super to get some of that vision down to keep him safe.
Gde je Strahinja? Evo, chillamo, malo gledamo leca. Brz dan danas za sad, kako stoje stvari, ako koji uzme ovu seriju, to je to. Tako da, realno, dosta speedrunovanja danas, mada vidjet ćemo Heretici šta mogu urade ovdje.
Now Jojo also has his level 6, just hit it here as he gets back to the wave, so Destiny to one of these side lanes is a possibility here for Jojo.
Oyoye showing though showed that he hadn't reset for his purchases, so now they know that he has to reset, which is why Douglas has now moved immediately into this bottom.
Da se uživa kako treba u zadnji game.
Won't be able to get too much.
Osim ako Heretici neko ne vineju, što... Mislim, po draftu nije da nije nemoguće, tako da ko će ga znati.
Like Douglas has kind of been brought into a couple of different teams now to be cover, but here we go.
Let's pause, looking for the Neva gold card on the bird that doesn't have the ultimate, rather passive available, so no rebirth. Alvaro gets the kill, and there's something about LEC supports that just consistently want to take away the gold.
Yeah, I think you should actually learn from LEC supports in your own game, and you should always take the kill.
Always take
your
the kill.
AD carry will love you for it.
Yep.
They're going to really enjoy that you're coming back for like a quick Ardent sensor and that kind of stuff, and be like, oh, well, that benefits me, so they'll love it.
Alvaro just said, I need the gold, guys, sorry. And it won't enable the Dragon for MKOI with that teleportation down, but doesn't enable the Scuttle as MKOI just moved Jojo up alongside Oyoye to this top crab. As Way moves as well.
Still, nice job though from Jojo, right? TP back in, and that was Oyoye showing on that wave, gave Jojo the push that he needed to make that play happen. So again, like nice heads up from MKOI, and a different look from Jojo. Like what we've been praising him for is taking
Junara top, dropaš Drakea. Mada je pitanje ko više želi da skela od ove dve ekipe, iskreno.
We kind of got to see that a little bit last year with things like his Galio, but the Twist of Fate is kind of kicking it up another notch his way in this top side.
Anyone getting slowed, Crystallized does slow him down, but that Flash Rush doesn't connect. Anyone walks it back. It's a 2 versus 1. Early lane swap here from Heretics. A 7-minute crest over. Slice and dicing and dominance onto Ice.
Što ga vi kao genkuje.
Now he's far forward. The slow down the Flash Frost again. Emirwin is getting 1v2'd.
So Mirni da odluči šta radi, to je bilo super. Mislim, on ima flash i dalje. Treba da bude okej.
Couldn't get that Arclight of Ruin that made
Ja ne mogu ni njega da ubiju normalno.
I think he was a little worried about this wave completely getting frozen on him, but I think it, well, won't be his ice is actually going to clear it out, but I think that was why he was kind of looking at it going, oh, if I don't take... Wait a second!
What the hell? Flashes over into Fog of War, misses the Flash Frost, there's the Crystallize, goes into...
Ne umire ovdje Mirvin.
Way's got help though, maybe it's a...
Flash. Usporen je, mislim ga ne stiže možda. Ne. Nope, imao ga je možda da nastavi da juri, a nije teo da flipa.
I think it was 2. that was way flashing in, misses everything, walls himself off from escaping, and then has to get Douglas in to help him.
Observers, let's replay that play. That could be the greatest play in the LEC of all time. Oh my god.
I've seen 3 walls from Way.
Yep.
The second one pushed Mirwin out of the Flash Frost.
Yep.
And that was the third one.
That was the third one. Dagger's going to pick up the grubs, so, you know, for MKOI, they are losing a little bit in this top side because of it. But that's just Douglas's early pressure coming from this Sinzal.
I Giorgio può stare relevantan dosta kasnije. Mada opet Sivir Lulu u teoriji bi trebali da budu fajn ovaj game. Dok se niko na strani Heretika ne prefida, mislim da je skroz fajn.
Douglas caught up, Crescent Guard won't save his life, and the smite gives the blue buff to Elyoya. Jumping in, Saren Wild growth, deflects away from the Cataclysm, or excuse me, from the Counter-Strike, and Saren gets out, gets Alvaro on the way out. It is a 1-for-1. Douglas for Alvaro is the trade, and Saren makes that play work.
Alvaro with a pretty big misstep there. Like, you'd already done a lot of the hard work from MKOI, denying the follow-up from Trayson after he flashed in, the Counter-Strike doesn't connect, and all you have to do is kind of play it back, not give Saren any angle to get the gold.
Here we
but
go.
They get away with it.
No!
Either way, though, like, I like this from MKOI. Play aggressive, you know you've got the advantage here. Jojo's able to come across.
Alvaro je 5. To jest Alvaro je 6. V je 5. To je isto dosta veliki div.
But loses vision, doesn't get the lead strike, and at this stage I think Alvaro should have just backed away, not giving Saren an opportunity to look for any sort of kill, but instead gives one across. Saren at least gets one back. But again, it's MKOI who are the aggressors in this and actually coming out with the gold lead.
Super as well, who's crawling up the gold lead too. I mean, that is a Siva who's already on the board. You'd love to see it as scaling mains, as Jojo's starting to threaten this lane out more and more. Now, advanced teleport available. And Dagda is looking at the icons above the head. I'm truly wondering when we're going to see that replay. I need to see it.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Gold card comes out.
Leave the observers alone, all right? They're doing a great job, but I do agree. Look, we can just keep track now of Way in the walls, right? As maybe a play on top side.
Agos is here. Mirwin's already sliced and diced. Counter-Strike not going to connect, but Trayson's got the
Imao je dice, nije to baci dice. On baituje za nešto, za junglera i za TP. Imao je dice, nije teo da ga baci, bukvalno. I sad će samo dumre zbog toga. Joj, bože, Mirvine, šta radiš, brate? Oj, Mirvine! A mogo je samo da baci slice dice da se izvuče i da bude skroz fine.
MKOI trying to make a big play. Like, nicely done by Douglas to cover it. He was patient, waiting for Mirwin to step into the river where there was no real way for him to easily escape, and they turn around the play.
Glacial Storm here from Way has now come up. No tier, by the way, in the end, so it's just going to be the Rod of Ages into whatever follows next as we come back, and that roam means that Saren got free time in the mid lane. This Akali after the kill, trailing the Twisted Fate. And remember, TF passive means that Jojo was going to be up if he was even in CS, so the fact that Saren is in range is a very good sign for Team Heretic's mid laner.
I mean, this game is going significantly better than the last one, right?
Yeah.
Like, they've been able to at least keep it in touching distance, and there is some nice wins for them, especially in this bottom side. There's the wall.
Yeah, Way decided to step on up, but he's got the egg, so he feels comfortable. Glacial Storm is there, but there's a knock-up.
Douglas.
Douglas caught out, has to go with the audacious charge.
Samo ga šotajte, brać. To je to. I sad preživljavate Akali, kako to već radi.
Goes into the shroud, finds Super, gets out again. He repeats the play as Team Heretics are now launching onto Elyoya from the backline. Ice and Way have been cleaning house. Down a 2 for MKOI, and Saren just keeps sliding through the whole team.
It did look a little dicey for him. The gold card into the polymorph made it very difficult for him to actually try and finish off, but the DPS wasn't there in the end for MKOI. We get to watch it again. Way with the Glacial Frost does a lot of work here to stop Super from...
Ako Jojo nije teo da baci stana Douglas, odmah malo su delayovali. Ali Douglas nije mu utjelo si mu timer na tome.
So as you get this fly through from Saren, he gets a ton of damage onto Super, picks him off, and Ice has been left pretty much untouched this whole fight to try and follow up with the DPS as well onto Jojo.
Mislim, moraju malo više snapi da budu na engage-ima. To je to. Samo trunku više moraju da budu
Yeah, that was said, but I gotta be honest, I think this game, Way's having a great time. Like, this is a great Anivia support. The debut of Anivia support in the history of LEC, and this is what we get. Yes, that's cinema. That's
Hey,
you couldn't ask for anything
Roman
better.
again here, though. We'll be spotting an award.
He's got no ulti, though.
I know. I thought they might have just full committed to the top side, but...
Seren has threat of 1v1 as gold card just being hovered. Jojo going through and cycling. Blue in the end, but Hextech Gunblade for Seren. He's very powerful right now as the Akali. And again, that gold's being trailed. He's got 2 kills, got Super on the way out. So 115 down really isn't bad as Dragon's being thought of for Team Heretics in bot lane.
Especially because the lead for Super was like 1.2k. So the fact you managed to eat away a lot of that is very impressive.
Što razmišljam, da li ovo dobijaju? Da li Heretici mogu dobiti ovaj game? Vi nije loš i dalje je samo full util, svi ti boots i katalismo ne daje apsolutno ništa u ovom gameu. Kao imaš malo healtha, malo mani i malo si brži. Što stvarno ono, ti bukvalno nisi hit, ti si zid. Što je fajn supportci kao. Ima neko drugi ko treba da nosi. Sifties je vjerojatno najčešći boots na Anivi, pogotovo support jer Anivi je jako spor. Mislim da Anivi je najsporiji hero u LoLu. Mislim da Anivi ima najniži base Mousepad ako se ne varam, tako nešto. Što je čudno jer je ptica, kao treba bude relativno brza. Asu će trebati baš mnogo itema pre nego što ima bilo koji input.
They are going for invades, but like Douglas can delay for so long with the pressing card that Heretics usually get to follow up.
Sol je predobar. Barona mislim da nećemo vidjeti do 3. Drakea, verovatno.
So in this kind of scenario, you know, Seren is very threatening to Jojo in a side lane.
Supa ima jako dobar game. I ranije će spajkovati od Ice-a manje više u svemu. Imaće Infinity ranije, imaće LDR ranije, imaće Sustain ranije. Jer ovo ima Kraken.
Both AD carries are pretty strong right now. Obviously, Super feels fine. Mirwin slice and dice into that. Trayton's going to take the ulti. Ruthless Predator's good, but Longcon is always going to work out for Trayton here. As in the river, they're going to fight as well. Crystallize out the Flash Frost and sending everything in. Wade's going to go into the egg form to start the fight off. Wild Growth probably saved Super as Douglas went in, but now he's just in the middle of the fight. Renegade jumps in, jumps out, while Ice takes in Elyoya from the back end. He decided to ulti and he ran at the Jarvan to get the only kill of the fight.
And I mean, for Ice, it's huge. Jojo just going to keep pushing on this bottom side to look to take this turret. But you're still getting Rift Herald and kills for Ice, plus this potentially to go down as... Actually, hang on, Douglas needs help.
Yeah, he does indeed. He's got an audacious charge, looks for some healing, but Mirwin just sets up...
Što Douglas radi? Heretici su... Mislim, jako su diskonektirani od game-a, ne znam. Mnogo random rade stvari, kao... Cijela ekipa ti disengage, ti ostaješ sam na Heralda 150 health, zato su 1.5, to će biti 1.6. Jer ovo se dogodi kad ja čitam chat pa mi mozak ode na autopilot.
Barely gets out, but we're back to mid. There's that charge.
Gold card did get away the cleansers. Cataclysm follow-up is fantastic from Elyoya, but the Flash Frost, oh my god! Wade just equalized the kill. Destiny out from Jojo as Seren jumps in. 2 members to kill, 2 members to
Brat.
There's the start of the public execution.
Šta rade ovi ljudi?
Gold card will save Super's life. Still jumping in is Seren. Sure it can flip, but it won't be taken. Again, another good stun. Wade, I mean, this bird is crazy.
I mean, the wall 1 was great. Wall 2 actually forced Jojo to use the Destiny to escape because of the placement. And it did get some value.
Zna li koji računa da mnogo opadi u scale ili nešto? Što igraju ovako? Ovo izgleda kao da su uzeli ono Renekton, LeBlanc i Ezreala i moraju pobedu u 25, ali ne moraš. Mislim, Sivir sa Lulu u Hyper Late-u može sama da nosi. Jax je problem u Renektonu, ajde, ali ne znam. Rađe bi volio da gledam da forsiraju fajtove oko Zmajeva nego da forsiraju fajtove oko Ne znam. Da, ne, imaju previše, ono, on klik CC-a. Kao u team fightu će ući u shroud, TF će upaliti ulti. I Akalin samo je ide. Jako čudno, iskreno, jako čudno.
Like you've so many ways to proc us. It's really strong. And the tier probably could have been bought a little bit earlier, but it's not the end of the world. Again, you're a support, so you're kind of just taking value where you can. And Rod of Age is giving you those extra few levels, especially for the wall value, because of how long that wall is. It is generally okay to just rush it, even though like you're not getting tier value basically.
True. I mean, it won't be hard to stack up anyway with the way these fights are going. It's 20 seconds till the Drake, third one for the game, but either side looking for their second. MKOI have a bit of a gold lead, but I'm trying to look across the board and how influential these items are. Lichbane picked up by Jojo. Still no second item for Seren here, who's been finishing these fights. Ice on his second with a Fiend Hunter Bolt is worth mentioning.
Yeah, I think the big win here is that because that mid lane Terra down, instead of having to catch the wave here, as Super, you're now catching it way up further, which is denying like these kind of flank angles 4-way that was able to deny you. So now you're constantly getting this push on the mid wave, which is easier then for Super because he knows that he can have his flanks warded and can continue to keep pressure, which is making it.
Mislim da Heleci mogu dobiti. Mogu. Jer koji pravi previše grešaka.
The Jax, but now the Jax is TPing in behind.
Yeah, it's a deep TP. B1 gets a half HP, but the fight is already going pear-shaped. Team Heretics, their jungler just dead.
Generalno, ja bih rekao da je Med ove sezone malo u raspadu. U smislu, dosta je negativnih stvari bilo od coacha Meda. Ali kad pogledate koji kao hoće da uđe u top 4, se nabada s hereticima koji su 1-5. Što baš ne bi trebao da bude slučaj.
And the fights are going their way. What it started off as a little glimmer of hope for Heretics with a 300 gold lead has suddenly ballooned to a 3.3k lead for MKOI.
Rough fight.
And you can see exactly that, his Heretics. The engage here, Mirwin immediately gets onto the back line. And the call here is, oh, they're overextended. But Douglas doesn't realize how quickly he can go down. Immediately taken out. And at this stage then, Heretics are completely split. Heron can't reconnect with the rest of the team. Jojo targets Ice as he knows that he has no follow-up. Way is too far away to get the wall. But maybe he can look for one on Super. But Super has Flash if needs be.
The Flash wants to put out the ice wall, but commits not to it. Now nothing down on this bottom side of the road as Way is just going to run in again, but the wall wrong side. Super again just walks it out. Douglas is going to get scuttled. Well, Jojo's here on the bottom side of the map. He doesn't have his ulti up and available. Team Heretics are pulling at scraps right now. As you said, Super's able to step up to the wave, and the pressure that's added by this guy being able to instant wave clear this far up is pretty immense.
But it's exactly that, because it means that now Trayson and Seren can't get as much value on side lanes. They don't have the control over mid to guarantee.
Ja mislim da kojak uzme svakog Drake-a, oni ne opadaju scale. Mislim, outscale-ovani su očigledno, ali kao ako pokupe Mountain Soul i onda uzmu Eldera, Soul i Elder će da nadomeste njihov opad scale-a. Opad, odlično. Ne znam. Ne mogu. Znaš što je moguće? Moguće da su heretici ponudili Velji da igra, ali Velja nije hteo. To je fazon. Jer realno ne znam mu se isplati da igra u hereticima. Jer ako cijela ekipa igra loši, on dođe i bude ono, 10. Nije to baš dobar, znaš, nije to dobar imidž toliko. To je fora. I Siver, gledaj šta radi. Ult je bio useless. Flash Q i ubio bi Douglasa pre njegovog flasha, verovatno, ali fajn je. Uzet će kulu, Jojo će uzeti top. Hoće uzme top kulu i koji sad polako bliduje. Ovo je fajn. Ovo je skroz okej.
Okay.
but it's not enough. And there's the TP.
Gonna try. Mirwan's gonna slice, but no dice. He flashes out, trying to buy some time. Shuriken Flipper's there, but Saren just used the ulti. He teleported for that, look for an opportunity now for MKOI. They're like, let's turn the play. Look for ice in the mid wave. There's the flag and drag. Cataclysm forts out that Arclight of Ruin, that Transcendence against the wall. Elio is gonna be slowed down. Maybe an opportunity here for Team Heretics as Elio flashes as well. But Jojo's still doing work on the top lane turret, and while Team Heretics get something, they are always losing out. Boomerang played out, and you're not going to find a Flash Frost here from Way. Super just steps out of the way, and Dagger's going to get autoed while a gold card gets into Saren. He has to run as well.
Seren je morao Merx da uzme, ali pogledajte koliko TF napora, mreć. Mislim da smanjuješ trajanje CC-a, ali... ali dalje Jojo može samo perma spamuje gold card. To je fora.
But it's kind of just chipping away at these structures, waiting for this next dragon that's about to spawn in 45 seconds.
Dragon will lead to Soul Point. MKOI almost 6,000 gold.
And so much of that is on Super. Third item completed, another BF sword in his hands. And you are very quickly hitting critical mass as Jojo. Like if he finishes off a rabbit on death cap.
Pa da, ali vidi, kažem ti, to ti je malo nezgodno. Ti kad pogledaš, gle, jako bitna stvar je da za Heretike do prošle nedelje igrao Sheo. To je također mnogo bitna stavka. Mislim, ne znam da ste zaboravili to, ali prošle nedelje za Heretike igrao Sheo, nije igrao Douglas. I Sheo, sad PR statement Heretika, disagreement sa managementom, Sheo je tražio da ga benčuje. Brati u fazonu neću još igram. Tako da očigledno baš nisim ono. Evo kažem nešto je loše. Loši su. I Sheo je u fazonu ono. Što više igram u ove ekipi, više kvarim ugled. Daj da izađem iz ekipe što pre. I onda je došao Douglas iz akademije. Tako da, mislim, Heretici su generalno u PR raspadu. Jer njihov coach dođe i kaže ja želim da ne uvozim igrače iz Koreje, hoću da koristim mladi talenat i onda uzme i uveze Ice Aveya. I onda su ljudi u fazonu WTF šta se događa, ono šta radite.
They aren't really finding moments though to like blow open the turrets or get control fully over the lanes. They kind of need to turn towards Baron, but for that they really need a pick to happen.
Destiny, ice in the face, but Jojo's okay. He's from Canada. He's used to the cold weather. Crystallize, the flash over the wall, gold card, and Elyoya just waits on the other side. The bird is definitely not the word today as Cataclysm lands on Way's head. Gold card.
Što je čekao da izađe iz Zega da je stanuje, ali nije ni bitno.
That was just Way trying to move in towards the upside to cover for the push.
Nema, ne pomaže. Mislim, Douglas je došao, ali... Unlucky. Pa ne, mislim, jeste, svakako je loše, pa je loše, iskreno, nema tu šta. To je fora.
MKOI, the team who, by the way, don't have any games next week. This is their only game till the end of week 6 versus Shifters. And then, of course, the road show that we go to Madrid in the very last week of the split, where they play 3 games in a row. So it is a good look to MKOI before they get a bit of a break, before they get to recoup and verse off against Shifters, which, you know, you'd assume with the current quality of Shifters versus MKOI, probably will be an MKOI win, before we get to see them in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where a lot of people are like, hey, this is going to be their moment to keep an eye on them.
Yep.
Because they do have the likes of Giant X, KC, and G2 still to play.
Yep, there it is.
Well, here we go. TP.
How confident are you in
Što ima, ko nisam vidio sad do kraja, a mislim da ko ima okej raspored do kraja, nije užasan, nisu su protiv Shiftersa igrali, Shiftersi nemaju win. Serin mrtav, gleda Kali, vrate, ništa ne radi. Znaš da koji da izgubi ovo. RFC se prokovao, dobio range, čeka opet gold card, lokove plavu slučajno, dogodi se. Ništa ode nam i dispuša i to je to.
9,000 gold and a Baron now to move to with ease.
Yeah, they're just going to crack open the turrets.
Sin je živ, ali mislim da neće dobiti priliku da čekuje. To je fora.
But Douglas now looking at Mirwin, who's isolated. Don't think he has the follow-up just yet, though.
Don't know. Mirwin doesn't have ulti, but 2-item Renekton. Yeah, he can press W. Douglas going to keep chasing this up, but Baron is definitely going down. He flashes for it. Audacious charge. There's the Sterax. Slice and dice. Chilling smite. Now, after Wind becomes lightning, there will be another audacious charge.
Ult is up, though.
He's got a turret. There's Dominus. Crescent Guard was used. Wave's now coming in. Teleport there. Mirwin's just standing. Did Mirwin just TP to that turret? Mirwin was the one that teleported
yeah, I think
to
he wanted the shield. He wanted the shield. For the TP if he can complete it.
That or he wanted to insult
Čovek radi counterplay. Samo što baš nije baš optimalan counterplay, neću lagati.
Turret's not worth it anymore. Bird dead again. Now for MKOI, the chase will continue. Teleport flank to try and end this series right here and now. Gold card looking for ice. Will find its target.
Stan za cleanse, Douglas je kriju u žbunu po TF ultom, on je mrtav svakako, ma da, ovaj game mislim. Još ovaj game kroz bot. Jako brz laz danas, 3,5 sata. Jako clean. Jako clean.
It'll actually stop them having a wave to end on unless they can end through this bottom side. It is with Baron. And there is only 2 members of Heretics.
Nimaš TF-a, TF i jede kule. Ja mislim mogu završiti game, iskreno. Ja mislim da ovo end. Mislim da Jojo treba da bije kule. Ok, ne mogu završiti. Zaboravite se mi što rekao. Ok, mogu završiti, ali pogrešna karta, Jojo. Nema veze. Imaju 2 kripa. Bru fontani su gubili. Koji stomp, čoveče, bože. To je to od Heretika, ljudi moji. Mislim, gledat ćemo ih još, ali svaki meč im rezultatski biti nebitan. Zanima me da li će još neki igrač da odluči da izađe na pola splita, ali... Mislim... Loše, ali donekle očekivano loše, nemam pojma. Baš unlucky za Heretike. Dobro, 2-0, ljudi moji. Gigafest dan, što je okej. Što se tiče Patreona, večeras gledamo film, najverovatnije Smell 2, vidjet ćemo još o čemu se radi i šta ćemo gledati, tako da ljudi moji, ja ću naravno ostaviti intervju kao i obično, nakon toga se možda vidimo večeras, ako ne večeras onda definitivno sutra, tako da uživajte u intervju, uživajte u programu, a mi se vidimo ili večeras ili sutra. Pozdrav.
Now, it's one of those series where you just like, you can give it to anyone, I guess. As you said, jungle, bit of an overstep, but Jojo had another good day. MKOI looked fine. I think the problem was today that Heretics, as harsh as it may sound, just didn't test them. Like,
I think it's, look, it's hard for Heretics at this stage. Like, you're replacing a key role on your team with Douglas just coming in, trying to organize stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and unfortunately, this now puts them in a very, very awkward spot where they are sitting at 1-6, which
they're not out.
They're not out, but they're probably out.
Yeah.
Like, we are not able to mathematically say they're out, but it is not looking very good for Heretics in this.
Jack just looked like a Heretics fan there. He sat by himself, very upset. I mean, it is rough. Again, like, Douglas didn't have a bad day by all means. I think the debut was fine, and you take away from that what you can. Wade played the first Anivia support, so there's a positive to end on for Heretics. Even more positive is Jack with Super and Alvaro, who had a gorgeous day.
Hello, boys. Good job on the win up against Team Heretics. A lot of... Do you have any words for the fans?
I don't know, they have been really loud today, and always it feels like really good to have the fans on our side. But I think they were also chilling as well for Heretics, so yeah, I mean, it looks hype, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. And I wanted to touch on that, because you guys have had kind of a rocky start to the split. How has the mood been at the MKOI camp?
I mean, I think it was always pretty nice. We just wanted to reach the standards that we want to do playing the game, no? I think we started a bit shaky, throwing a lot, but I think the last weeks we are ramping up, going better. I think we look more consistent in a way in the early. I feel like the games never go out of our control, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Did you feel that today, going up against Douglas versus Sheo, that it was any difference in Team Heretics, or?
I don't hear you. Can you repeat, sorry?
So Team Redix, right? They replaced Sheo with Douglas. Did you feel like that changed your game plan
think
going against
they
them?
weren't trying to be that much proactive as I think they used to be before. But at the same time, I'm not really sure how to evaluate because I don't know how much time they had to train.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that in some occasions, like